Good evening. Good morning to me. Can I see? Can you let me know if you're here? Good evening. Good morning. Greetings, rather. Hi. I've never live streamed before on YouTube. This is my first time as well. We're in this together. So please leave a comment to let me know where you're watching from. Let's do it. Hello. We are about to do it. Good morning. Hey, Denver, Colorado. Yes. Good morning, Janella. Francis. Hello. I'm so delighted that you're here to join me on my first live. And it's evening wherever you are. If you're on Eastern time, it is 9 o'clock a.m. in the morning in Da Nang, Vietnam. So you may hear the roosters crow in the background, real life. Savannah, Georgia. Nice. Oh my goodness. Let's see what I do. Okay. And yeah, let's get it. Oh, we got Maryland in the house. Represent. Nice. Great. Well, I tell you what, we're gonna start because your girl Miss Etiquette here got started on time, but I appreciate Ramona. But I'm loving seeing everybody who's here. This is wonderful. Y'all bear with me. This is my first time. Now I'll put my name back up on the screen so y'all know who I am. Oh my goodness. This is so funny. Okay, where's my y'all click and subscribe. Oh my goodness. I am trying to y'all bear with me because okay. Here is let me get back in the chat in the comments. Okay. All right. We're gonna start. I'm new. This is my first YouTube live stream, so I'm trying to. Okay, there we go. I got it. I got it. I got it. Well, welcome. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with me today. Uh, this is my first live stream, and if you're new here, I'm Sean Gilliland, Queen of DC. And after 30 years of living in Washington, D.C., I retired early on my own system, not from the government or at a company. And I sold my belongings to travel the world full time. And I've been, December 29th marks my full time solo travel anniversary. And on this channel, I post my travel tips and adventures around the world. If that's your vibe, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed and you like what you see, hit the button and hit that like button as well to let people know that we are here. And which is how I don't think Obama is bad. Listen, we gonna get into that. They told me to stay away from Bami. Make your own. Bami is no. I'm done with it. In Hoi An, too many places with food poisoning, so I am done. No more for me. But yes, I want to start this journey. I've been to 10 countries and I'm revisited 2 countries, and we're going to go through those countries. And please feel free to leave your questions. I'm going to talk and then I'm going to go through the chat to see what questions you may have. And let's start. And December 29th, when I left, that's the day I left the States because I wanted to start this journey in a new country in the new year. And I decided Mexico City. That wasn't my first. I wanted to go to the beach first. But if you know, around November or December, the beach, and I was thinking Puerto Vallarta, the beach is very expensive. It's peak season. And your girl was not about to pay $150 per night because I'm not on vacation now, y'all. I'm living. So that didn't seem right. And what do I have now? I have time. I don't have to rush. And I said, okay, well, let's put that on a back burner. Where can I go to make my way to the beach? And my first city, my first country was Mexico City. I decided to go to Mexico City because I can make my way to the beach from there. And Mexico City, oh my goodness. Hey, from Be More, Mexico City. Who's been to Mexico City? Anybody been to Mexico City? It was I got there. I rented an apartment my first apartment was with Sonder. And it was a really nice apartment. I got so much content to share with you all, but I do have a Instagram video on it, and it was very nice. And I paid it had to be between $60 and $75 per night, and I stayed there 2 weeks. Again, you'll realize that was okay for the time as I was new and I was getting out there, and I still wanted to stay under $100, so that worked. And for now, until you realize later on. But anyway, I went to Mexico City. And I enjoyed Mexico City. I stayed in La Roma, so it was easy to walk around. The transportation, they had the trains, and y'all know I'm a city girl from Washington, D.C., lived in the city, so I didn't have a car. Everything I did was public transportation or walking. And I could walk around because that was in the area where you had restaurants and Cadesa, then you had the park, you had grocery stores. And I found Mexico City to be really spread out. Have you been, who else agrees with me on that? I think it's really spread out. And so I had to gauge the city in terms of walking because I'm used to walking. But once I started walking, I was like, okay, it's a walkable city. Not all places, but I can walk some places here. And I took a great food tour there. A friend of mine was there, so we got together for the new year and hung out. And it was called Eat Like a Local. It's a great food tour. So if you go there, it's a really nice food tour that takes you around the city at different places. But your girl was in Mexico City, honey. I was eating everything. I was eating street tacos. Like, oh, I think it was $1 or less than $1 for a couple tacos. So I was just eating, and before I ate, I would always take my charcoal activated pills, right? Oh, I was just eating, and just enjoying myself. And then who was with me on that journey in Mexico City? Oh, you said, yeah, Saunders are nice, and they're right there in the city, and they have apartments all, spread out the city. But y'all know, if you watch I was roaming the city. They have really lovely museums, and the parks are beautiful. They have green space, gorgeous green space, right? So I'm out, and I'm like, oh, hey, and I'm Nolans. I'm out eating at the food places or whatever, the tacos, the street tacos, because I wanted to get the vibe of the city. And you got to eat street tacos. Man, I woke up one morning, Jesus Christ. I said, what in the world? My stomach wasn't hurting or anything. But when I went to the bathroom, I was like, Jesus, what's going on? Help me. Oh, I came down with food poisoning. Oh, it was bad. It was terrible. And I knew it had to be from eating those street tacos because I was tearing it up. And then some of the food was really spicy. And so that was my first round with being sick abroad, the food poisoning. So I just had to, thug it out. And I was in Walmart. This is a funny story. I was in Walmart, y'all. They have a mini Walmart. And I was like, okay, cool. And they have Woolworths there in Mexico City. So I was in Walmart and I was like, oh my God, I can't make it. I'm gonna have to put this stuff down. So I asked the guy, Banyo, Banyo. He's like right there. Ran in the bathroom and I felt so bad afterwards because the lady that came in there, I was like, Jesus Christ. I know she was like, are you alive? Because you really is. I think you died in here because it was horrible. Then I had to I was like, I dealt with that for about 5 days. It was horrible. And it really made me understand and do better that I cannot eat everything. And so that's when I stopped eating street food like that. I just couldn't do it. I said, you know what? I got to watch what I eat. And that was the attack. And that changed my perspective on eating street food. So when people would say, oh, you just, I was like, no, no. But Mexico City, I stayed in Mexico City 2 weeks. Oh, and then my girlfriend was there. She saw that I was there. So she was visiting and she was staying at this brand new hostel. And I was trying to decide, where do I want to go next? Do I want to go to the beach or do I want to spend another week or so in Mexico City? So she said, hey, I think you'll like this hostel. And I've never stayed at a hostel before. I always wanted to stay at a hostel. Yeah, and I said I was going to do it for the people, do it for the culture. And she said, I think you'll like here. And so I stayed at my first hostel in Mexico City, Hostel Juarez. And I have a video on it. I still have to publish that. But yes, it was very nice. I had a private room and it was brand new. It was artsy in the Juarez neighborhood. So that was another nice neighborhood, walkable, easy public transportation. So I really enjoyed it. And that was my third week in Mexico City. Indeed. So I'm going to look through here and see if y'all have any questions about Mexico City. Atlanta, Georgia. New Orleans. Leave them tacos alone. Yeah, no more street tacos for me. I swear. Hey, from Indy, Sam Telly, loving your videos since the Lululemon short. Y'all, the Lululemon shorts, honey, have gotten me through this whole year. And these are shorts that I already had. I love my Lululemons. When you're traveling and they fit well, I do. I don't know what I would wear without my Lululemons here in Southeast Asia because it's hot and you need that fabric, that dry fit fabric, honey. I swear by it. Suitcases in let's talk about the suitcases in Mexico City. Thank you for bringing that up because the suitcases, let me tell you, I overpacked my suitcase in Mexico City. I had a medium monos, right? And I was asking people about the weather and they were like, oh, it's cold. So I thought I had to bring cold items, cold attire. When I didn't, when I went to Mexico City, for me, the weather was very nice, spring type weather to me. In the evenings, it got a little bit cooler, but nothing where a sweater. And I'm like, sweater weather? This is not sweater weather to me. So I overpacked, y'all. I overpacked, causing myself so much anxiety. I had this medium-sized mono bag. Half the stuff I didn't even use. And I was so upset with myself because I had to pack this, constantly repack. I'm kind of OCD with packing. So I have to organize, unorganize, organize. Oh, I got to put everything back in its place. And this bag was too big. I had to get stuff out. I'm not the type of person who unpack all my stuff, my belongings. I pack what I need for the week and that's it. Unpack what I need for the week and leave everything else in my suitcase. And it was just having too much luggage was overwhelming. And I realized I wanted to travel throughout Mexico City. I can't travel with this big bag. And I had a backpack. So I had this medium-sized suitcase and a backpack. And it was too much. It was too heavy. It was cumbersome. And it was giving me anxiety because I had to repack this bag constantly to put stuff back in. And another thing, so the bag I knew, I said, I cannot travel I cannot pack it myself, and I cannot travel around other parts of Mexico with this bag. I'm going to go one more place because I think they gave me 30 days on my visa, which was fine. Or they gave me 60. They gave me 60, but I knew I was going to only use 30 probably. But I had this big old bag, and that was going to prevent me from moving around. And it was just overwhelming and causing all this anxiety. So I said, you know what? And another thing in Mexico City is I have T-Mobile phone service. My phone was not unlocked at the time because I was still paying on it. And I couldn't get a SIM card for being unlocked. And my Wi-Fi went out on me. I was out in the streets trying to use the maps. I couldn't connect to Wi-Fi. It was horrible. And I said, you know what? I am going to have to detour up to Mexico. I gotta take care of this situation. I gotta unload this bag, which is horrendous, and I gotta get me travel Wi-Fi because they had me stuck in the streets. I couldn't get internet, maps. I would have to at nighttime. I'm out, you know, and I couldn't find my location or get internet. It was horrible. So that's when I realized I overpacked. And I said, okay, I'm gonna move through. I'm gonna go one other place in Mexico, and I gotta go. I gotta go back and revamp this bag and get me some Wi-Fi and figure out my Wi-Fi situation. And I had investigated, and I started while I was there doing some research. And Travel Wi-Fi is who I went with, and they have been excellent throughout the rest of my year of travel. And so I ordered that. So when I got back to St. Louis to my parents' house, I would have it ready because what I decided to do was, I got to get rid of this bag. So I'm going to go back to St. Louis. I'm going to revamp this bag, get my travel Wi-Fi, and then I'll leave. But I didn't know where I was going yet because I was in Mexico and I told you I wanted to go to the beach. But I also, before I started the journey, wanted to go to Thailand. But the prices were too expensive to go to Thailand around December, November. And I was talking to Disabled Diva Eve, who has a great channel, and she's on Instagram and one of my dearest friends. And she said Thailand, a good time to go to Thailand is in February. So I kept that in the back of my mind. But in Mexico, I was overwhelmed with the bags, and you don't have to pack that much. The weather was fine. It was horrible, just horrible. Yeah, and I had this anxiety. I would be like, well, I pack all this stuff. I pack this bag. I hate it. I would be on the texting friends, help me rearrange this bag, trying to figure it out and everything. The hostel with the private room. Yes, I stayed at the hostel with the private room. It was very nice. I can't wait to show you all that. And so that's how many suitcases I had. One medium, which you don't need for me because I'm traveling I didn't plan to come back. I did not plan to come back, but I couldn't travel with that big bag. And it was costing me more in fees. And it was heavy, so I couldn't lift it myself. And how much was the hostel? Oh, the hostel had to be under $50. It was under $50. And I stayed about a week there. So it's about, it was no more than 50, put it like that, because I had a private room and I had my own bathroom. And I can't wait for you to see the footage. It's very nice. So it was under $50, had to be, or right at that amount. And that was less than what I was paying at Sonder. So it worked out. And then I was there for about a week because I decided from there I was going to go to Playa del Carmen. And then when I went to Playa del Carmen, I was able to get a better deal on the hotel. And I use Agoda because Agoda on the hotels, Agoda has been the most cost-effective one, even over hotel. Sometimes I use hotels.com, but now they're more expensive. And I like that Agoda has a cancellation They let you reserve in advance and give you time, depending on when you're going, that you can cancel, no fee. You in St. Louis, where you had your home base, like storing. Yeah, my parents live in St. Louis, so they allow me to leave my stuff there. I just had clothes. I didn't have anything else. I just had suitcases of clothes, maybe about 3 or 4 suitcases of clothes. I got rid of everything, and that's all I had. All I have is clothes. And when I went, how does travel Wi-Fi differ from hotspot on your phone? Well, travel Wi-Fi is actually, it's a hotspot, but you buy their data plan. And so whatever their data plan, and my travel Wi-Fi, let me show you. This is my travel Wi-Fi, and I have a link in the description. But here's the great thing about this travel Wi-Fi. So it fits everywhere. It's compact, but it has a option for a SIM card. So you can put your SIM card in here for the hotspot as well and connect to the internet. My Vietnam SIM card is in here now, but I can take it out and put it in my phone when I need to use the Vietnam phone number. So what happens is Vietnam, depending on where I am, I look at the data plans. In Vietnam, a SIM card is $8. So I don't have to purchase travel Wi-Fi data plan. But sometimes it's convenient for me and it's easy. When I'm in Malaysia, I do purchase the data plan because it's just easier for me. When I don't have a SIM card or when I'm in the process of getting another SIM card, and sometimes it's cheaper depending on where you are. In Thailand, and they go by how much data you need. Thailand is very affordable, so I get my travel Wi-Fi through Thailand through here. Sometimes, so now that my phone is unlocked, I can use a SIM card. Does that make sense? And so I paid about, you buy the device. So I paid about $133 for the device. And then you purchase their data plan, or you put your own SIM card in it, particularly if you have an unlocked phone. I mean, a locked phone. I had a locked phone, so that's why I needed this. Now my phone is unlocked, so I can go back and forth if I want to. And one thing about this, though, you have to be, sometimes when your SIM card is not in your phone, your main phone, it'll tell you, if you have an iPhone, I have an iPhone, it tells me, oh, you need to connect your SIM card to maintain your number with your Apple device. So all I do is take it out of here, I take the Vietnam SIM card out of my phone and put my original back in, just to let it know I'm still here, because I don't want to lose my number. So that's how travel Wi-Fi differ. It's a hotspot that works all over the world. You can purchase it before you get to the country. So as soon as you land, boom, you have Wi-Fi. So my main one is, are you okay talking about how much you retire with? The finance, all of it. Also your visa in Kuala Lumpur. Okay. You know what? I think I did a video on how I sold everything and to move here. And I could just say this. I can give you a figure and say that I can live this life for the year. I can live off of $25,000, $25,000 to $30,000, and live a comfortable lifestyle this entire year. Of all the places I've been, and I'm just excluding some finance because that wasn't included in the amount. I can just say this: between $25,000 and $30,000, less than 30, less than 30. I have lived for the year off of less than $30,000. So $25,000, I'm good. Yeah, because I haven't spent 30, excluding something. So $25,000. Yeah, I'm good. And I have not skimped on anything. I'm not a budget traveler, but I do watch the prices, because once you enter Southeast Asia, baby, your whole perspective change. Like, okay, I paid what? $50. I paid up to $70 for a night in Mexico City, and that was really nice. Over here, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. What? What? You $70? Are you crazy? Yo, you done lost your mind. Where's my $30? I get upset if I have to pay $40 a night. Oh, I just was talking to my lady friend about that yesterday. I was like, I don't want to pay $40. $40, I'm up in arms. Isn't that crazy? $40. I got problems. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Oh my God. So, and so that's how it starts to change with the travel. So what happened, I ended up going to, from Mexico City, I ended up going to Playa del Carmen. And I got my beach. That's all I wanted. All I wanted was to go to the beach. And that's how I ended my time in Mexico City. And I went to the beach, and it was the best ever. I was laid out on the beach. Oh, sunning and just funning, drinking, and guess what happened? Guess what happened? Trying to be cute. Your girl got sun poisoning. I'm like, Lord have mercy. First I had food poisoning in Mexico City. Now I got sun poisoning. It was bad. It was really bad. So I had to go see their doctor. And it was they have these clinics set up on the street. Well, they have pharmacies, and you go on the side of the pharmacy is a doctor's, and you go in there and he looks at it and then prescribes the medication. So that total visit to the doctor with medication was that one was actually about, I think it was about $20. I think it was $20. But I do travel. I use safety wing travel insurance. I would not leave the country without it. That was a safety wing is a good um, has been a good insurance, travel insurance, until I'm figuring out exactly how much insurance I need, if I need it, and what type of insurance I need as I'm going around more and more. But as I'm going around more and more, I have learned affordable health care is available, and I have access to it in all these in different countries, and I'll talk about that. But yes, I got sun poisoning. I was like, what in the world is going on? And it was bad. I was blistered up, had to have medication. And so that is how I ended my my month in Mexico City. And I really think that it takes about a month in a place. I like to stay at least a month or over a month in places to really get a feel for whether it's a place that I can appreciate, stay. And I think you appreciate things more the longer you're there. 2 weeks is a too much of a 2 weeks is a short amount of time to get a feel for a place for me. And so the longer, at least a month, I already know if that fits my lifestyle. And I enjoy Mexico City, and I loved it and had a great time. I had a photo shoot there, which was amazing. The food tours, the museums, the parks, but it's not a place where I would want to live. I'm going to see if you all had any questions. But yeah, y'all tell me where else you gonna live for $25,000 a year? And I've been to 10 countries and repeated too. I've lived, and that includes the fees, the apartments in Mexico City, the apartments all over I've been, the hotels. That's all that included. And so you balance it out. So sometimes you may spend more here, but you balance it out and don't spend as much at the next place. I was in emo and spaghetti and meatballs. That's my favorite. Weren't you in Mexico City during an earthquake? I was not in Mexico City during the earthquake. I was actually in Bali during the earthquake in Ubud. That's where I was and felt the earthquake. And in Mexico City, I was talking to locals, and they were telling me things to look for, how to prepare for earthquake there, and safety precautions that they take in those instances. And that's how I knew to do a video on preparation for earthquakes in Mexico City. And so I did a little short on that, sharing that there's an app that lets you know supposedly 30 seconds, and that September is not a good time to go because it typically They have earthquakes around that time. Uh, and I thank you. I'm at a point of looking at, oh God, looking at finances selling my home and passing. I'd say do it now. I knew um, that if I didn't do it now, that window of doing things and being out here solo on my own while I had good health, it's a part of the aging process. You just won't be able to do the same things. And I was not going to be waiting to 60 years old for me to do those things because I knew, you know, what? Who gonna help me? Who gonna help me with this? Who gonna help me climb these mountains? 60. I'm not doing it. And you get into these situations when you're traveling, and I say every day, oh, I'm so glad I'm doing this now because I know even next year and 2 years from now, I'm not climbing no mountains, no slippery waterfalls, and all of that. As we get older, we get, a little more fearful of things, particularly our bones, breaking bones, and just our capacity to do things changes. So do it now. What you mean, Ramona? What explain? And Ramona to be able to move around. Let's see. Sorry for Sean. I've never heard of sun poison. It's when you in the sun and the UVA rays, sunburns your skin to where it's at a level of blistering, and so it was blistering and it was breaking, and what comes with that, the pus and all, it was just bad. So I had blisters up and down my back from the heat. And during the process when I was out there, I didn't know what was happening. It's only afterwards that you recognize, wait a minute, my back. Oh, and then you start feeling the blisters. But mine was so bad, it just had blistered all down my back. And I'm just now healing in terms of the discoloration on my back because it happened again. I thought I learned the first time. Well, I didn't learn the first time. It happened again. So now I just stay covered up. No sexy. But yeah, so that's what it is. It's to the point where you have to get medication for it and it has to heal. But it was really bad blistering from the UVA rays. And so that I said, man, so that wrapped up Mexico City. I'm trying to see if I forgot anything. I told you I stayed at the hostel, and the Wi-Fi and the luggage. That was a great question. And I said, you know what? I got to go back to St. Louis. I got to revamp this bag. I'm taking all this stuff out and order my travel Wi-Fi, and then I'm ready to roll. So I went back to St. Louis to do that. I only stayed there for 2 weeks, and I took that medium-sized mono suitcase bag and reduced it to a carry-on. It was 50 pounds, y'all. It was 50 pounds. Half that stuff in that bag. I was rolling with tripods. I mean, full tripods. Come on now. I didn't use a tripod once. I had extra clothes that I didn't need. And I had 50 pounds and I got it down to 30 pounds in my carry-on. I was so proud of me. I went from 50 pounds to 30 pounds. What? I said, you know what? And I'm a minimalist anyway, but I just overpacked and oh man, that gave me so much anxiety because I had to get this bag and drag it. And 30 pounds, I had one carry on, my backpack, and that's it. And I said, okay, I bought my ticket to, did you travel? Okay, did I travel with you? Okay, I bought my ticket to Thailand I got it for $780 one way. And I thought that was good because they were $1,500 in the past months, like November, December, they were $1,500. I got it for $780. I was going through Doha, boom, I booked it. And I travel with, y'all, I travel with medication. I travel with over the counter medication, personal medication, everything. Because before I left, I had got my prescriptions filled up to 6 months. So when I left, I had 6 months worth of prescription. And over the counter, I had all the over the counter medicine, the diarrhea, the charcoal activated pill, everything, the Advil. I had everything over the counter. So I did travel with those medications, and still got food poisoning and sun poisoning, and but I do travel with those medications. And I also had my doctor. I had my eye doctor write me my glasses prescription. I had my doctors write me a written prescription because I figured you could take that to any pharmacy and show them, and they can see if they have that same medication. And yeah, so I was good on the medication tip. And I just did a short video and published it on YouTube about medication and seeing doctors abroad. But try to see if you can get your medication in advance. And then look up if your medication, you have access to your medication in different places you're going to be. So when I got back, I got my bag down to what I get 30 pounds, and I was ready to roll. And I said, you know what? I left a lot of stuff, and I said, hey, it's there. I'm not gonna worry about it. And I got on that plane and went to Thailand, and I ain't been back. Not to, not for any packing and stuff like that, but I have been back through the States since then. But and I got on that plane and Bangkok. Let me tell you something. Don't follow what other people say. Do your own research. You can listen to what they say and go by, and just take that into consideration as you're making decisions. But people told me, oh, only spend 3 days in Bangkok. You're not going to like Bangkok. Just go on to Chiang Mai. I absolutely fell in love with Bangkok. I'm a city girl. I fell in love with Bangkok, and the public transportation system. It had everything, the malls, the amenities. It had everything that I enjoyed. Um, and what I do before I travel to a place, I research. Hey, um, what is my ride share? Do you taxis? Do I take a taxi or do I book transportation? But you hear a lot of times about taxis getting over and where to find the right taxis. But they are, as long as you have it metered. But I use Klook. So I had my ride. I ordered my ride before I got there. So they were waiting for me with a sign. And it was, oh my goodness, I did a video on it. I don't think it cost me $20 to get from the airport to my hotel at the time because I stayed at a hotel. And to start, yeah, I stayed at a hotel in Bangkok. And yeah, right there is Soy Sukhumvit, I think 18. Very nice. And oh, let me go back and say the people in Mexico were very nice. I had no issues with the people. I didn't find them hostile to me, or they were just very nice. I don't speak Spanish, but I think they were accommodating and gave me grace, and no problems at all in Mexico City or Mexico. And Thailand, the same way. The people are wonderful in Bangkok. They mind their business. I had no drama or anything in Bangkok. I'm so proud of you. Oh, thank you. And in Bangkok, it's something else. In Bangkok, so I enjoyed Bangkok. I really did, and I don't know if I want to live there now that I've been to other places, but I definitely could stay there a little bit longer and go back there. Uh, and y'all, I'm so upset because my footage somehow got lost. All my Thailand footage got lost on my phone. It was deleted. Just that month it was deleted. I don't know what happened. So that means what? I got to go back. But so Bangkok, listen to your own vibe. If you feel, check things out for yourself. And I really enjoyed it. So I stayed in Bangkok about 2 weeks. I extended my stay because I enjoyed it. And from Bangkok, I went on to Chiang Mai. Now, Chiang Mai, when I first went there, and that's why I say you got to give yourself time and places. Chiang Mai, when I went there, I did not. I was like, it's too touristy because it could have been where I stayed. I stayed in a hotel, kind of right there in the district of tourists, and I was just like, it's not enough Thai people here, and it's all about sale, 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 money, money, money. And they have to because they have the tourists there. There was a lot of Chinese tourists and Europeans, and I just thought, where are the Thai people? I don't want to be around. I don't want to be around tourists. I want to be down with the people. And so the vibe was off for me. And I was like, okay. So I gave it. So I spent, I think, 2 weeks there. And I was like, okay, I'm moving on to um, Krabi. I want to go to the beach. I want to go back to the beach. And Thailand is beautiful because you do have the beaches and you have the mountains. And when I was in Chiang Mai, I got to do some tours of temples. In Bangkok too, the temples are beautiful. And who's been to Thailand? Who's been to, what is your favorite city in Thailand? Let me know. And the cost of living, oh my God, Thailand. I think you can eat for what, off of $10 and have a scrumptious meal. Bangkok is a little bit more expensive and they have the luxurious malls. Oh my goodness. But it's very economical, very affordable. Chiang Mai, you've been to Chiang Mai? And Chiang Mai the same way. And Chiang Mai is smaller, it's more rural, but it's a smaller city. And for me, I'm more city oriented, but from Chiang Mai, I went to Krabi, and I love that because it was beach. It was about relaxation, and I was able to go to the PP Islands and just tour and relax. And it was gorgeous seeing the beautiful green water, clear water. So that was a wonderful experience. But what happened when I was in Krabi in the PP Islands? I got sun poisoning again. I'm like, what the heck? I was covered up, and I still got it. So my body is just sensitive to the sun. And I got it on my back again. And I just like, I'm doomed. And so I thought I was going to go to Phuket. And then Phuket, I was like, I'm sun poisoned. I can't sit out on the beach. I'm not trying to go hang out. I'm at the beach if I'm in Phuket and those places. So I said, you know what? I'm planning to go to Vietnam, but Vietnam requires a visa and you have to apply for a visa. So I said, I'm going back to Chiang Mai and they gave me 40 days in Thailand on my visa. I said, I'm going back to Chiang Mai. I'm gonna work on this Vietnam visa, but I'm gonna do it a little bit different this time. I'm not gonna stay at a hotel. Let me try to find a apartment, or a condo. Let me try to do it differently. And I found a place. Y'all, I found a place right in the heart of the city. It's Astra. I still got a video on that Astra condo. Right, right in the heart of the city. You can walk to places, but it's more of a livable vibe. It's not the touristy mumbo jumbo, Tourists live there, but it's still a calm and peaceful vibe in an apartment. And that gave me an opportunity to really relax and enjoy my time there. And that's the thing about it. I know someone said, it seems like that year passed fast. For me, when you're free, time seems longer. It doesn't seem fast. It doesn't seem like it went fast to me. It just seems like it just was time passed because I don't even know on any given day. I don't even know what day it is. I'm not I'm not stressed about anything. I don't have any place to be. I can just enjoy the moment. And I think that's what travel gives you. It gives you a state of being in the moment. And so while it seemed fast to other people, time doesn't really seem fast to me. It moves kind of slow, at a matter of fact. And so in Chiang Mai, I had a better appreciation for it. And I paid, listen to this, I think I paid about 30, I paid $35 per night for my accommodations. And I was there maybe about a little over 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Because I was waiting on my Vietnam visa to come through. And at the time in March, y'all, that was February into March. And Vietnam at the time only had a 30-day visa. So you have to complete that application. And it really gave me a better appreciation of Chiang Mai. And I was like, oh, okay, I see why people like it here. It's peaceful, it's calm. I went to some more temple. I didn't do a whole lot of temple. I didn't do a whole lot of temples. I was just relaxing and just living day-to-day life there. And the $8 massages, that's where I found a lady for the $8 massages, put a foot in my back. The affordability. And so I negotiated because I liked the place and I wanted to stay longer. The person I was renting from, I said, hey, can you give me, y'all, the lighting in Southeast Asia is so bad. Everywhere you go is dim light. So bear with me. That's why the light's going in and out. But I said, he said, I can give you 37, right? 37 a night, because I think I went through for that. I had a credit with hotels.com. So I went through that to book that because he was on hotels.com. So I booked that condo apartment through hotels.com to use my credit that I had. And he told me, I had to do my research and I knew what the prices were going for in that building. And I don't even think I paid. Yeah, I don't know. I think I paid 35. He said 37. And I said 37. I said, I just told him what I could do. I said, I could do 35. And he said, let me check with my partner. And he came back and said, no, I think he said 40 or something I think he said 40. And I said, he said 40. And I said, I can do 35. And he said, let me check with my partner. And he came back and he said, that's okay, we can do 35 cash. I said, okay. Because I told him, I said, I give you 35, whatever that total price is for the next week or so. I can pay in cash, but $35 per night. And he said, fine. See, so y'all got to negotiate. It's room for negotiating. And I had washer and dryer, everything, all the amenities. They had a pool, they had a gym, they had everything in the building. So all I needed, I had everything I needed right there. And it's so hot there. You're in during the day. And I was there during burning season. So you don't go out during the day unless you just have to, because it's so hot. And you only go out to, starting at 5 o'clock. In the night market, honey, they knew me at the night market. Had this little fish spot I went to. They were like, we know what you want. We know what you want. And then that's when I met my girlfriend, Tasha, from Tasha's Journey. And we connected and been friends ever since. And then I connected Eve, disabled diva Eve came through, and we all got together. We had a beautiful lunch and dinner. Her friend made us dinner. So I had a little social life in Chiang Mai. And even in Mexico City, I met some beautiful ladies there, hung out, went to dinner, and met, and still talk to this day. So I had social life. You create a little social life where you go. And I think that helps you with that process of being a solo traveler. Even though I'm the type of person, I love my solitude. If I meet people, that's wonderful. Sometimes I don't go out of my way to meet people. But if I see in a group or somebody's TikTok or feed pops up and they're there, then I'll say, hey, I'm coming to your area, or I'm here if you'd like to connect. And people have done me the same way. And then through Frances and Janella. They have connected me with other beautiful women, women who are traveling, sisters who are traveling the world, and we happen to be, they know we're in the same places. They make sure, hey, to connect us. And that's how I met Sonia recently in Vietnam, Da Nang, Vietnam, from Lack to Legacy, and had a beautiful meeting with her. So I have met some wonderful people along this journey. So I'm not just out here by myself in a little corner or something. Even though sometimes I like that, I'm able to meet some beautiful people. And I'm very open. And I think that's one thing about travel too. You have to trust yourself. You have to be a little more trusting and open to others as well. Now, I got good intuition. I know I can kind of feel somebody crazy, so I don't deal with the crazy, but and if they rub you the wrong way, then keep going. But you want to be open and allow yourself to explore and meet new people. And man, have I met some wonderful people along the way, because I'm just open and free here to meet people. And let's see. So what was that? That's Chiang Mai, right? So that was Thailand. So I did Chiang Mai. I was working on my Vietnam visa, and Vietnam visa costs $25 for their 30-day visa. And now they have a 90-day visa, which is $50 for multiple entry. And that's what I'm on here on a visa in Vietnam. And I'm on a 90-day visa. So that means, but I can leave the country and come back if I wanted to within those 90 days. So where else did I go? I wrote it down. Where else did I go in Mexico? I mean, Thailand, Krabi, Chiang Mai. Did I go someplace else? Oh, because from Chiang Mai, I went to Vietnam. And Vietnam. I went to Vietnam, and that's where I am now. So Vietnam is one of the countries that I revisited. So what is that? My third country. So Mexico, Thailand. Now I'm in Vietnam. So Vietnam. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to see if I had any travel woes. And Chiang Mai was smooth. I didn't have any issues in Chiang Mai. It's very hot. If you go around March, it's burning season. So you will be impacted by the fog and the burning and the heat. And it's just muggy. It's the sticky 2 showers a day. If you go out, as many times as you go out, you come in, shower, because it's that type of humidity and heat. And from there, I went on and I did all the touristy things. I went to the mountains. I even went to the elephant sanctuaries, delicious food. And I have no problem with the food. And I ate at the night markets in Thailand. No issues at all, particularly in Chiang Mai. They had some really good night markets. And I got to see, is it Muay Thai fight? So I had some experiences in Chiang Mai. Any questions? Do you all have any questions? Because I'm just talking. So I want to be sure to answer any questions you all may have. So leave your questions. So from Chiang Mai, I went to Krabi. No, Krabi's in Chiang Mai, and in Vietnam, honey. Lord have mercy, Vietnam. And I started from the north to the south. So that meant I started in Hanoi. And Hanoi is closer to China, so they take on that conservative attitude. And it's colder up north because you're more so toward the mountains. And Hanoi, Hanoi, I was like, oh my God. They have what? In Hanoi, they have about 5 million motorbikes. This is how the traffic is in Hanoi. This is how the traffic is. It's just like this with motorbikes. You can't cross the street. It's just like, okay, it gave me anxiety. But the first day I was there, I got me a SIM card. And in some places, when you get a SIM card, in Thailand, if you were to get a SIM card, I didn't need one because I have a travel Wi-Fi and I just bought their data plan. In Thailand, they require that they get your passport. if you want to purchase a SIM card. And they go through that process. That's just their law, the process. When I was in Vietnam, I went in to get a SIM card, and the guy was like, "Okay, what you need? $8. Here you go." And put it in my travel. Put in my travel Wi-Fi for me. They don't need all that. Vietnam is different. They like, you come here, what you need, we got you. That's it. And I had to pick up your visa for Vietnam. It's electronic visa. For Vietnam, it's a electronic visa. So I didn't have to pick up anything. They just require that you send them a photo, and you can take it with your camera, a photo, and you complete the application, and you're $25. Now, don't buy your plane ticket until you're approved, because mine only took 4 days of processing, but sometimes it can take longer. And to see if you are processing. And they're not going to let you on that plane if you don't have a visa. And this lady was at the airport. Well, my visa, it says processing. They like, man, well, okay, you don't have a visa. You can't. She was trying her best to get on that plane. Let me talk to this person. Let me talk to them. I'm like, man, you don't have a visa. Your visa has to be approved. And then they'll send you the file with your visa to print out. They require that you print it out. So I just went to a place and had them print it out for me. Send them an email. Oh, the place I was staying, she was able to print my visa for me. And that's it. But it's electronic. And it's, very straightforward. And so I had my visa for Vietnam. I was in Hanoi. The first day in Hanoi, I got to put this footage up. I kid you not. It's so many people. It's so crowded. It's very dense. And you got people washing dishes on the side of the street. They got these little tables and chairs and people eating in restaurants. It is just like, wow, okay. And the first day, I was walking down the street. I saw these vegetables being thrown, and I was like, what's going on? Honey, the man on the motorcycle got off the motorcycle, had a machete, and he was, slashing and trying to cut the people. And then, I don't know what was going on. They was trying to calm him down. Once they calmed him down, they started hugging. I was like, is this the Vietnam way? That was wild. I was like, what is this? Anyway, so that was my first day in Vietnam, in Hanoi. And oh my goodness, it's busy. It's quite busy. It's a kind of overstimulation. The streets, it's more so about crossing that street. And they have all the restaurants. But let me tell you, in Hanoi, I had some really delicious food. They know for their bún cha, and this, I think it's chaka, this kind of fish. Oh my God, delicious. The food, and I had banh mi in Hanoi, and I didn't have any issues. But the food was delicious. And then they had a certain type of pho. And that's where the train street. That's where Train Street is, where the train runs by the restaurants and the cafe. So I had the chance to see the train coming by, and snap some footage of that on Train Street. And Hanoi, they're a little more aggressive. The people are a little more aggressive because they're trying to sell you, and they're not as warm as a Da Nang or as Ho Chi Minh City. They have a totally different vibe. It's all hustle, hustle, hustle in Hanoi. But they had some beautiful, they have a beautiful river. I went to, I think, one of the museums, the war museums, and some other things around. I did. Oh, Ho Chi Minh City. Oh, that's in Ho Chi Minh. That wasn't in, no, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh, to his mausoleum. That's what I did in Hanoi. So I was able to see that. And he's actually in the mausoleum. Uh, and from Hanoi, I decided that I wanted to do Halong Bay, which is a cruise. I've never been on a cruise before. And it was gorgeous. So if you're ever in Hanoi, you want to do Halong Bay cruise. Gorgeous. So you're on this cruise, and you just sail out, and you go to different sides of uh, the area. When we went to a beach, and then we went into caves, but it's really, and then we went into a pearl. We got to kayak out there. I have all this footage. We got a kayak, but Halong Bay It's gorgeous. You're on a boat. And that was my first time cruising in Vietnam. But y'all know something got to happen, right? Well, after I did that, I we were going back to the port after 2 days, after 3 days. We were back at the port, and the guy had set my suitcase and my bag, my backpack on top of my bag. And this is why I'm so glad that I travel light because I was able to, if I had to carry that myself, I could carry it myself. So I picked up my backpack because they were saying, okay, it's time, our bus is here, it's time to get back on the bus. I picked up my backpack and then I looked down to get my suitcase. And I was like, where's my suitcase? Where's my suitcase? Y'all, what was my suitcase? Rolling, about to go into the Vietnam Sea. And I'm like, my bag. But it was steep steps. So I was like, gone, bye bag, because I can't run down these steep steps. I would hurt myself. And I was like, nobody was right there. And I was like, my bag, my bag. And this man, he stopped it. And I was like, oh my God, could you imagine my bag rolling into the sea? It just would have been gone. But he was able to stop the bag. That was unbelievable. So I got my bag, but I was like, okay, that bag is sturdy. Come to find out that bag was all cracked up. I had no idea. And I also went to Ninh Binh. That's what it's called in Vietnam. So that was more like a foresty region, very mountainous, very cool. It was cooler up there, very nice. Any questions about Vietnam? But I really enjoyed Hanoi, but it's too overwhelming. Hanoi is too overwhelming, and they wild. You just see a bunch of things. I did a wonderful food tour there too. Me and these food tours, but I did a food tour. It was very nice. And so I always do things to connect. Food tours that gets me out, and I'm able to meet people through that process. But it's just fun having a local take you around the city. I teach English online, and I was able to meet my student there in Hanoi. So he stopped by to meet me. Where are you going in the next year? I don't know. I don't know because okay, so that was Vietnam, right? So from Vietnam, then I went down to, and I'll talk about that because I'm trying to figure that out. Francis, where you going the next year? I don't know. There's still some other places in Southeast Asia that I would like to see. I still want to see Cambodia. I still want to see Japan, but it's cold right now. South Korea, but it's cold. I want to see Philippines and Taiwan. And then some outskirts of Malaysia. So I still have a lot of Southeast Asia to see. And from there, once that happens, then I have to figure out where next I want to go. I do want to at some point go to Africa, but I haven't decided. Things change so quickly when you're out here. That's another thing, the adaptability. Things change so quickly. And when you're out here on the road. So in Vietnam, from Vietnam, I went to, and I'm doing all this by plane. Plane is very affordable. So I don't pay more than $100 for a ticket. And if you do it in advance, you can pay 50, 45, 50, $60. And that's with check bags from, going from country to country. So then I came to, so Vietnam, you have this whole little trail. I came to Da Nang next. I think I came to Da Nang, which I am here now. And I really like Da Nang because it's coastal, it's on the beach, very nice. And the people are just wonderful here. I just feel, oh my God, they treat me so nicely. Yesterday I was walking up the street. And this man, he was taking delivery off the truck. And he was like, hi, hi. And I was like, hi. And then he said, I guess, I'm like, you don't think I'm real or something? It wasn't, it didn't offend me or anything. He just was like, hi. He just had to touch me. He just had to touch me. What about Aussie? Any interest? You know what? It's not at the top of my list, but it is a place that I would like to see because I am on this side, but it's not. It doesn't rank very high, but it's a lot of Australians in Vietnam. A lot of Australians in Vietnam. Um, but I would like to see it one day. It's just not at the top of the list. But if I'm over this way, then I might as well, right? After I see those other places, then I might as well. So that makes sense to do it while I'm over here because I didn't realize how far away I was until I had to go back to the other side and go to Costa Rica. I was like, Jesus Christ, how did what was I thinking? Oh God. But Vietnam. So I came to Da Nang, very nice coastal city. The people, the food. Look, it's so talk about affordable. I don't like to say cheap because but it's affordable. And when I say affordable, I mean I'm eating nice meals for $5 and under. Where you gonna do that at? Where you gonna do that? Where you paying $20 a night to stay at? Where in a decent place, washer and the amenities. Where you doing that at? Where? And that's when I got over here, and so it changed. It changed my whole perspective on money. Even if I have the money, I'm like, I don't want to spend it because I got everything I want over here for $20 a night. When I this second time around, I came to a place and it was $20 a night. You had to do, 14-day minimum. That's fine for $20. Then so you can rent. If I were to rent a place that I would want to rent, it would cost me $618 for the month, and that includes electricity, water, laundry. They do your laundry, and what it doesn't include is tiles. I was like, I can buy my own tiles, but that's what it includes. What else? Yeah, so that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Um, what would you make any other places you've been to your home base? Absolutely, and I'm gonna get to that one. Get to the home base. I think y'all know my home base. I think y'all know. Some of you all, can you leave a comment if you know my home base? What I plan to make my home base if I were to, but I think you can have different home bases. But on this side of the world, I think a home base. Somebody leave a comment where my home base. Ah, what does KL mean? Good morning, Malaysia. I absolutely, but I got a story about Malaysia. I got a story about that because it wasn't always at the top of the spot. And so, KL, yes, Francis. When I went, so Da Nang, like I said, it's very affordable with the people. Oh, they're so nice. They want to, and there is a language barrier, but you have to use the Google app. They want to talk to you. They're very soft spoken. So it's hard to understand sometimes because of the soft spokenness, but they try. And it's all about, you know, comfort and hospitality here. Y'all see, I got my little Vietnam haircut, honey. I got my haircut. I went to, my friends took me to a Vietnamese salon to get my hair washed. And once I got it washed, I was like, can she cut it? Can she cut it? Yes, Kuala Lumpur. And she was able to cut it. Beauty. And this cost me $6, y'all. $6.24 with a facial. Then my facials, I get facials here at $20, $23. I got a coupon, so it's gonna be less than that this time around. You know, and so healthcare. I haven't showed y'all yet, but yesterday the other day I went to get my teeth clean. I went to get my teeth clean, y'all. And I got a night guard. Guess how much my teeth cleaning costs? Or should y'all wait till the video? Wait till you see the video. If you guess, let me know if you guess. I got my teeth cleaned in Vietnam. Guess how much I paid? We're gonna put that out there. And So I'm just living my life here, and healthcare is important. So the things that I need done. Oh, I haven't even told you when I went to Bali. I got my teeth cleaned in Bali. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I'm in Vietnam. We're talking about because I'm here in Vietnam. But I really liked it here because if you want to slow your money down, this is where you come. And this is where you can balance out the high end with the more with the less is Vietnam. So me being here, I've already been here 2 months. I got a 3 month visa here. I think I might as well stay the rest of the y'all think I might as well stay the rest of the time because I'm debating if I should leave early or if I should just stay the rest of the next month. Because you know why? Because of the price. Because KL is about 30 to 50% more than 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 Vietnam in price. Hey y'all, thanks for sharing with us. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. And so I think I should stay the rest of the month here and just keep that slow pace, of money down for accommodations. Um, so if you want a place now, Vietnam doesn't have the the luxuries of a Bangkok or a Kuala Lumpur because they don't have not in Da Nang, the shopping malls, um, the entertainment. And I like those things and I have to have those things. So this is a great spot to come to just chill and rest. And if you're doing a visa run to come here and give your, before you go back to where you're going, that requires, new visa entry. But yeah, I might as well stay. I got the time. I'm not in a rush. And I was like, why would you rush to go pay more? Take advantage of it now because you're gonna end up having to pay more where you're going. So just level that spending off here. And so that's what I am next. I don't know where I'm going. It'll be someplace in Southeast Asia. Either I'm going back to KL because I want to go. I got some doctor visits I want to do in KL, so I'm definitely going back there. So it would be KL, or I don't know if I want to make a stop off someplace yet. I haven't decided, but if not, I wanted to go to Cambodia when I was in Vietnam, but the price of the ticket, I'm not paying $300 to go to Cambodia. I'm not paying it for a ticket because they only have one flight that goes directly. Um, I was like, no, no. I'll wait till I'm in Kuala Lumpur or Bangkok to go to Cambodia, where it's cheaper in terms of flight. I'm not paying $300. But you can catch a bus. I'm not catching a bus because they're border, Vietnam and Cambodia border. And a lot of people make a visa run to Cambodia and then come back to Vietnam. But I'm not catching no 6 hour, 7 hour bus. I'm not doing that. Lady Elysian, I ain't doing that. I just fly. I don't even want to catch the train because I'm not trying to pack no bags and put it on the train. If I were traveling with someone else, that would be different. I might try it for the accommodations, and it's easier to work with two people. But by myself, I ain't got time for that. And I've seen some videos. And I'm like, I don't feel like being on the trains. This ain't Europe, and I just don't feel like when a flight to be right there. So, so in Vietnam, so I'm in Da Nang, and it's just that was in March. That was in March, April, and it just was wonderful, so wonderful that I wanted to come back when my visa was expired in KL. So that's why I came to Vietnam. My visa was expired, and so I came back to Vietnam. And then it gave me, like I said, it gave me an opportunity to slow my money down, slow my spending down in accommodations. So, and I like being here. It just doesn't have all the shopping that I like and to get the things that I need. And so Vietnam, from Da Nang, I went to Hoi An And Hoi An is where they make all the clothes. I was able to get some clothes made. I got 3 pairs of shorts made there. And I went back to Hoi An this second time, and that's why I got the food poisoning. Because I had eaten at this place before, and I thought it was safe. And it wasn't a street place; it was a restaurant, but they had a just bad. I thought I was gonna die, y'all. Look at me. So I was like, I ended the year. I mean, I started the year with food poisoning, and I guess I ended the year with food poisoning. I guess that's how that works. But any other questions? Because then I went on to Da Nang is more beachy, so it's not really a whole bunch to do here. Um, you can relax, do your work, and they have the mountains. So I did some tours here. I went to Monkey Mountain, saw Lady Buddha and the beach, and those things are nice. And I like to come here to relax. And I met some wonderful people here. Just I met some sisters here from Philly, from New York, just living here. And we've been hanging out. And then I met a beautiful Afro Latina lady from Brazil, but from the States. And her husband lived in KL, and they're moving around. So I've been meeting some wonderful people, y'all. I've been meeting some lovely people. And then now in Da Nang, I went to Hoi An, and then I went to Ho Chi Minh City because I had a friend in Ho Chi Minh City. So we got together. I rode my first motorbike in Ho Chi Minh City because everything here is motorbike. And now Ho Chi Minh City is a little more. It's more cosmopolitan. The people are lighter than Hanoi, so they're a little bit more friendlier. And even though them people didn't bother you or anything like that, but they're a little more open and friendlier. 10 million motorbikes. You still can't cross the street, and it has everything going on there. They don't have public transportation, and Ho Chi Minh had the Vietnam War Museum. I'm telling you, oh my God, that was so emotional for me because I even went through the tunnels where the war, where the military and those deep tunnels. I didn't know I was claustrophobia until I tried to get in that tunnel, and I was like, I can't, I got to get out, I got to get out. But Ho Chi Minh City is vibrant, but it's not a place where I would want to. I don't have to go back there, so I don't have to go back, and I don't have to go back to Hanoi either. So the only place for me in Vietnam that I really like is Da Nang. And here I found a little, the people are so warm and loving. I met my little Vietnamese girlfriends that took me around, wanted to show me their culture. When I got sick, they took care of me at the hotel. And this was I got a video on this hotel. You talk about service, A+ service. I was like a queen, honey. They treated me like they all knew me. And that's what this is about. And I tell people, put Vietnam on your list because it really is. It really is about the hospitality. There's no tension. So don't think the Vietnamese in the States, they have acquiesced to being Americans, with the tension and all those racial issues. They don't have that here. Not with visitors. Any questions? And so that was me in Vietnam in March and April, right? And from Vietnam, that's when I went to Kuala Lumpur. And I always, oh my God, y'all got to watch my videos on Kuala Lumpur of why I went there because the singer Yuna, and that's how I learned about Kuala Lumpur. I got a chance to meet her. That's my bestie now. And it's just so life moments coming full circle. And initially when I was there, I was there 2 weeks and I was like, I don't think this is a place for me. Remember, I told you 2 weeks is not long enough to know if you like a place, for me. So 2 weeks is not fair to give a place and say, I don't really like it. Because I really wasn't finding the food. It was more so about the food. Every place I went, the food wasn't pleasing to my palate. And I was like, they ain't got no seasoning. They're not using seasoning in the food. And I like everything else about it because they have, honey, they're like Bangkok with the malls. luxurious malls, very hot climate. It's just, it rains every day, but you get used to it. Once it rains for the hour or two and then it stops. The rooftop, the skyline views are gorgeous. So they had that, but I was like, I can't deal with this food. I'm not finding the food. And so I left there after 2 weeks saying, I don't think this is my place because I can't eat here. So I left. Remember, keep that in mind. I left there after 2 weeks and I went to Bali. And now Bali, I went to Bali because my girlfriend, disabled diva, Eve, recommended her dentist and I needed my teeth cleaned. So I said, I'm gonna go to Bali, get my teeth cleaned, and then check out Bali. Now this may be, I might be in the minority, but I did Bali, the beaches, they were not clean. They were not like Vietnam beaches, not like Da Nang. And I was like, what is this? And it was really very, if you go to, I was in Lagoon right there next to Simiyak, and it was very touristy. And I just don't like the very touristy spots. It's a lot of Australians, a lot of just tourists. And I was like, it was just too touristy, even though it's nice. And the beaches they weren't like PP Island. They weren't like Thailand beaches and PP Island and Krabi. And I just was like, disabled diva travels. Yes. I was talking about, went to Dr. Dia, which is excellent. And that visit cost me $40 for teeth cleaning. And it was wonderful. And that was thanks to Disabled Diva Travels, who I was telling you about in Thailand. Um, and so I didn't find the beach to be that vibrant and pretty. So I said, okay, I'm going to Ubud because I heard about Ubud and I'm close. So I'm going to go to Ubud. And I stayed at a really nice inn. It was like $20 a night, $20 a night, y'all. And I had breakfast. The inn owners brought me breakfast every morning. I had water, coffee, tea. And it was very nice. It was near Monkey Mountain. God, y'all know the time I had with Monkey Mountain. Jesus. Oh my God. It was next to Monkey Mountain with, and I would have to walk by these monkeys to get to certain places. And I had this fear, this phobia. It just was stressful. But Ubud is very rural. And I said, Julia Roberts, y'all still paying her because she put y'all on the map. I don't understand why people love Bali so much because I think I wouldn't travel that far to go there. I would couple it with another city. That's me. Because if I just came from the States to go to Bali, I'd be disappointed. Because I was like, I can get this in North Carolina and I can go to the beaches in Miami or Florida, someplace in Florida for the beaches. But I wouldn't have to come all the way here. But the fields, the landscape is pretty. And the people, the Indonesian, the Balinese, they were very nice and warm. I love interacting and meeting the people. And I met another young lady who was visiting there from the States because she came there for yoga. Beautiful. And connected with her. And then just the people I just connected with the people, the local people, because I would see them walking down the road. But the roads, honey, I had to be in by the time the street lights came on because it was dark and the side of the road. I was like, oh Lord, I don't want to fall in the creek. It was just, I was like, but it was relaxing. I like where I was staying. That's when I experienced the earthquake. It was like about 1 a.m. I thought it was a monkey scratching on the window because I had a glass door, sliding door. So I thought it was a monkey. And I said, oh, I think a monkey out there or something. And then the dogs were barking. But I was like, a monkey wouldn't shake my bed and the walls. Come to find out that next morning, the inn owner had slept through it, but it was an earthquake. It was about 4.4. So I was actually in an earthquake. I like my friends in Bali, but I don't like Bali. Yeah, Eve, exactly. I like the people, but I didn't like Bali. I did enjoy the swing and looking pretty and doing and taking the tour, but I didn't, that's a place I don't have to go back to. And that I wouldn't miss. Yeah, Dr. D is the best dentist ever. So if you were in, I'm gonna do a video on that. If you're in Bali and need a dentist, that's where you gotta go. Because Eve, I was telling him I went to the dentist in Vietnam, but didn't nobody guess how much it costs. Did nobody guess how much it costs? Um, so the yeah, so Bali, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. But here's y'all try to explain this to me. Help me understand this. Bali, I was ready to go. It was time for me to go, and I was good with that. I spent about a little over 2 weeks because I liked where I was staying. They were so sweet, and I just enjoyed just the calmness of it. I did like that. But guess when I was about to leave, the traffic is horrific. Traffic is terrible. You walking down roads, they don't really have sidewalks or anything. So understand that. And the traffic, it took me 2 hours to get to the airport. But why did I shed a tear? I was very emotional about leaving. And I didn't understand why. And I was crying. And I think it had to do with the people. Because I was ready to go. Ain't like I wanted to stay because it was my time. It was up. But I shedded a tear, and maybe it's that spiritual thing about Bali or something. I don't know, but I think it was more a connection with the people because I would see these people day to day and speak. Hey, how you doing? And um, talk to them. And they had beautiful islands like Nusa and Gili T, but I was like, I'm not dealing with no ferry. I was hearing people's stories about how they had to coordinate, deal with the ferry. And I was tired. And the inn owner said, if you want to leave your stuff here and go, I'm not gonna charge you. You can leave your stuff here and go. But I was like, sir, I'm tired. I am tired. So mind y'all, I've been going from January, I've been moving. And I didn't do 90 days anywhere yet. I didn't do 90 days. I'm doing 30 days or maybe a little over if they get me over. But typically I'm doing 30 days in places. So this was January to Bali was April, May. Yeah, because KL was April, May. I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired. And let me tell you the one thing that is draining doing this process is having to pick your accommodations. It's not even about traveling because I can get a plane ticket and I can go anywhere in the world, but I got to research where I'm going to stay. I got to price check. And that is very exhausting and draining. That is very draining. And that's why I tell people when they say, go here, go there. Okay, I'm going to go there. Where do I need to stay? What area? Tell me, give me some help. That helps me. That's the resources I need. Tell me where I need to stay. Give me some options. You got some recommendations for hotels, apartments, condos. Give me something because that takes a lot of time out of my um, day when I'm researching places to go. That's the accommodations, because then you got your price range that you want to make sure. And I told y'all now that I'm in Southeast Asia, I'm offended by $40. So I be playing with stuff. I be waiting to the last minute to book travel and things like that. Maybe put a little pressure. That's not even putting a little pressure on myself because I know where I want to be. And if I just yeah, if I miss out, okay, but at least I know where I need to be. It's just the process of having to research places and make sure I'm safe. And I've always felt safe no matter where I've gone. But just in terms of accommodations, make sure I'm not dealing with icky situation, not in a dump, that is conveniently located where I can walk or public transportation is close. So those are the things that I look for in accommodations and within that price range. If I have to pay a little bit more at this place, that's okay. But I still need a place. And it takes time researching that. And also, I no longer had the airport phobia because initially I was like, oh, I got to pack up and go. I start having, I don't want to go. But when I reduced my luggage, that eased that tension of having to travel month to month to month. But I was like, I'm going from month to month to month. All I can do is travel. I couldn't do any of my YouTube stuff or anything like that because I'm moving and I'm trying to enjoy the moment because I'm not rushed and I want to take my time and enjoy each moment. Let's see. You got a side tooth from Dr. D for $100, honey. I got me a night guard made too. You got me a night guard made too. So if you want medical tourism, is very look at the list of medical tourism. Malaysia has awesome medical tourism. Thailand does too. And when I was in Malaysia this second time around, I came down with an emergency. I can talk about that now. I had a eye emergency. I swole up. I didn't know what was going on. So I had to see a doctor in the medical clinic. Then that was about $18. They gave me some ointment, all of that to see the doctor. And then Malaysia told me, oh, that's too expensive. You went to an expensive clinic. It was in the Petronas Towers, but I was like, okay, $18. So I was able to pay out of pocket. Then I had my comprehensive medical exam in Malaysia, and that cost me under $500 for everything. Everything. You hear me? The blood work panel, the mammogram, the pap smear, the everything. The eye exam, all of that under $500. So that's my access to healthcare, and that's why I definitely will be going back to Malaysia because I want to do a couple of doctor visits there. So I left Bali, Indonesia, and like I say, that's my take on it. And I went to, where did I go? I went to Singapore. And I love Singapore. It's a big city. I like cities. Singapore is very expensive. Y'all, my little hotel room, what it cost me? Like $130, $140? No, $150. It was something like that. I have a video on it. It was like $150 or something. Something crazy for a little bitty room. But Singapore, the accommodation's so expensive, but it was a beautiful city. So yeah, you gotta have some money when you go to Singapore. If y'all see me in Singapore a long time, y'all like she got a little bit of money. Queen got a little bit of money if y'all see me there for long term. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, it was 100. Yeah, it was 100. Hotel G was the name of the hotel. $150. I was like, I think it was that much for that little bitty room, but it was clean. It was nice, good area. And Singapore, all you need in Singapore, if you just doing a touristy thing, 3 days will get you. You can see the Marina Bay, the gardens, the hawkers. You can Chinatown. You can see a lot of the touristy attractions in 3 days. The airport is amazing. Airport is absolutely stunning. Who's been to Singapore? Amazing. I would recommend it. But again, in the food, I had the best pastry in the world there. But it's expensive for accommodations. And and they have great, excellent public transportation. I had no issues in Singapore. The streets were wide, so it was hot though. It's real, real hot, but the streets are wide and exercise. And Kuala Lumpur is so hot that you can't even exercise outside. That's one of the issues, one of my concerns. You can't even exercise outside. Um, how did it take you to get the e-visa for Vietnam? 4 days. It took me 4 days to process my e-visa for Vietnam. And so Singapore, so I spent maybe look at $150 a night. I wasn't in Singapore in a long time. I think I did 4 days, 3 nights, 4 days. Oh, and I'm out. Okay. 150. Y'all, I'm coming from complaining about $40 a night. So what you think $150? So when I came back, when I left Singapore after 4 days, I said, I'm going back. I'm going back to Kuala Lumpur. I gotta give KL another shot. I'm gonna go back and I'm going to immerse myself because 2 weeks isn't long enough to be fair to the city. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to immerse myself. Because remember, that happened to me in Chiang Mai. 2 weeks. I was like, I don't like this place. And then I went back for about 3 more weeks. And I was okay. And I got a different perspective because I was in a different mindset. And I was living in a different location. I was living in an apartment. And so in Kuala Lumpur, I went back, and let me tell you, honey, they accommodate you in terms of their luxury high rises, whether they have the most stunning skyline. It's, food wise, I think it's affordable, but it is more coming from a place like Vietnam. It is about 30 to 50% more expensive. So when I was there in May, I could get a nice spot for $30. I could get a nice spot for $30. And I mean, with rooftop, pool, amenities, all of that, nice, for $30. And I noticed now they raised the price. So you might have to pay a little bit more, about 40, 45. And I'm like, mm, no. But but I noticed they have increased over the past few months. So I went back, and this time when I went back, I gave it a shot. I said, okay, let me find places, let me talk to people, and I really got into the food scene. So I got into the food scene, and I was able to find the places that were pleasing and that taste well. And I said, okay, I can do this. I like it. And I got into the community, and I started meeting people, and it just felt really homey at that point. It already felt good. Just that food part didn't, and I couldn't get with it. But now I grew. I opened my mind. I said, okay, let me just explore. I'm gonna try here, I'm gonna try here, I'm gonna try there. And I started meeting people, and it just changed my whole perspective. So yes, we saw it in Chiang Mai, and I'm Bangkok. I'm Bangkok and Vietnam. Oh, you're in Vietnam next month in Bangkok. I love Bangkok. Maybe I'll come back there. I'm not sure yet. But I need a place to stay. Trying to think. I think bungalow, because I would want to rent a place as opposed to do a hotel. So can you recommend me any place in Bangkok? Um, please let me know. And so I had, what did I do? So that was what? Somebody knocked, so I was trying to lost my train of thought. But yeah, so I got more into the culture and the community when I went back, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I can do this. I can do Kuala Lumpur. And I knew Kuala Lumpur has a 90-day visa, so I don't have to do anything but show up. For Americans, we get 90 days on the visa in KL. So I put that in the back of my mind and said, okay, this is a place that I could come back to for 90 days, relax, and really get into the culture and the community. And any questions, y'all, from Kuala Lumpur? Because my cousin moved to New York City to Bangkok. Oh yeah. Yeah, Bangkok is affordable. I really like Bangkok. Um, But I have I still would prefer KL over Bangkok because I just gotten into, I think if you build a community someplace, that is you know, that becomes really more your home base of what you really enjoy and adjust to. And I enjoyed the community I built there. And so I left I stayed in Kuala Lumpur about 30 days, over a month when I got back. Over a month when I got back. And so I really got into it. I started exploring more. I started doing, I had already did the food tours and the touristy things, and I was doing other tours. So from there, I had to go to Costa Rica for a girlfriend's birthday party. That was already planned. That was already planned at the beginning of the year and everything. And I was like, oh Lord, y'all. You mean I gotta go back on that side of the world? I didn't realize the drama that it was that far away. I didn't realize that. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. So I had to find a ticket to go back to the other side of the world. And that cost me about, that ticket back there cost me about total about $1,200 once I got everything worked out. And then I went to, we had a, what is KL? Oh, that's Kuala Lumpur. That's Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. That's Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I went to Egypt in April. You know, I've heard so many different things about Egypt. I know Eve loves Egypt too. That's not a place I would want to go solo. I think based on what I've heard in terms of um, the treatment of women when they're by themselves, or just the aggressiveness, or the always selling, trying to sell you something. I think there in Morocco are places that I would want to go with somebody, and not by myself. So that is, and so I went to Costa Rica and had a ball. And let me tell you something, going back to Costa Rica, that was in July. That was, oh, that's what I needed to break up all that solo travel, because I was hanging out with my girls. We just had a great time. And it just was the right time and the right break. It was excellent. We had a blast. And we can stay for $30 a day in Egypt. Eve, next time you go, I have to go with you because I'm not going by myself. I'm not dealing with Egypt by myself. But yeah, I had a blast in Costa Rica. It's just what I needed. But I had to go through Houston to get to Costa Rica. So I spent 2 days there with my cousin, which was nice. And then from Houston, y'all, here's the thing. During that time, I had all my supplies and everything. So I knew I was going back to the States, going through the States. I was like, let me order everything I need, new pairs of running shoes, new pajamas. Let me order all of that stuff, and all my little Target toiletries, Amazon things I needed off of there, any hair care products. Let me order that, have it shipped to my cousins, and that way I can have it when I re-up when I come. And that's what I did. So that was great. And so from Costa Rica, and I had been to Costa Rica before, but this was just a fun girlfriend for my girlfriend's birthday. We had a blast. Oh, private chef, villa, all of that. It was just what I needed because that was my vacation. Because remember, I'm living. I'm getting in the community. I call myself living. I'm living in these places. And so that was the vacation I needed. I didn't have to plan anything. I just had to show up, pay my money, show up. That's it. Oh, that felt so good. Felt so good. Felt so good. You went to Argentina solo. I haven't been. That's another place once I get to that side of the world. Did you like Argentina? Because I've been hearing um, things, different things about it towards Black women and Black people. So I don't know if that's. And let me tell you something. Every place I've been, I have not. People always ask me, "How is it as a Black woman? Are you safe in these different places?" I have been safe in every place I've been. I have not been treated badly any place I've been. I've been well received as a woman and as a Black woman. So I had no complaints, none at all. And I felt safe every place I've been. Uh, and so I went from, where was that? Costa Rica. So I came back and I stayed in Houston a week with one of my dear friends, stayed there a week. And that was nice because I was with, it's nice. I was with a best friend, just chilling, relaxing. He was, his hospitality was 100. We were just having a great time. And that wind down time from traveling, it just felt good to be um, around your people. It felt really good to be around your people, your family, and your friends for that moment. And so I say, ain't no way I'm coming through Houston and not going to DC to get my hair did, because I hadn't had my hair done in all this time, y'all. I was just washing and wearing. So you would see me a lot with a headband on, just washing and wearing. That's all I did. Wash and wear my wash. I can use about any shampoo. just some conditioner and wash and wear. So I was like, I'm stopping in DC to get my hair done. I cannot. So I went to DC. This was 4th of July weekend. I went only for 3 days because y'all know why? I cannot afford to live in America no more. DC was so expensive. And I was like, dang, I got to pay how much for this hotel? Oh my God. That was $100 and some dollars. I was like, okay, fine. Let me get in here. I'm always checking with my hairdresser during the time. You gonna be in town? You gonna be in town? She was like, yep, got you. And so she was, I went in, got my hair done, and boom, I was like, I didn't know where I was going next, but I knew I had to leave. Well, I ain't got to go home, but I had to get the heck out of DC. And so I went online, y'all. This was the second day I was there. I went online and I said, where am I going? I got to get back to Malaysia because I had made up my mind that I was going to spend 90 days in Malaysia. I was gonna spend 90 days in Malaysia, but I had to get there. And child, trying to get there was a mess. So I said, how am I get there? The cheapest ticket I found was going to Paris. And I found that ticket for about $600. I think $650 maybe. And that was my entree into Europe. And I had said early in the year that I wanted to go to Paris in July because I hadn't been since the pandemic. I stopped 2018, I think was the last time I was in Paris. So I said, oh, and I had been going every year. And I was like, okay, so I went to Paris. Now, y'all know the prices in Paris. And it felt so beautiful to be in Paris again. It just was like, woo, wee, merci. It just felt really good. But y'all know the prices in Paris. Hundreds. I was paying over $100 a night for a hotel. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. I got to get out of here. I'm going to enjoy Paris while I'm here. So I enjoyed Paris while I was there. And so that ticket I booked, I was out the next day. So when I was in DC, I spent 3 days. The third day I was out. No, the fourth day I was out. I booked the ticket the night before and I left. Because I was like, I ain't spent all my money in DC. And let me tell you about when I went back. The feeling there when I went back, somebody asked me, do I miss it? I said, no, I don't miss it because I've been there. I was there over 30 years. I gave it my all. It gave me what it was supposed to give. I had a great, awesome life in DC. So I don't miss it right now. And when I went back, it was so hard. People were so hard. I felt the tension. And when I have been moving around, living in Southeast Asia since February to July, just a whole different vibe. It was just ease and comfort and no confrontation. Malaysians don't like confrontation. Thai people don't like confrontation. Vietnamese don't like confrontation. So I'm not in a city where I'm dealing with racism against, me and my people and confrontation all the time. From whether it's from my own people or other people. They're not confrontational. So I go to DC, I'm standing in line at TJ Maxx to get a luggage tag. That's all I had because they had broke my luggage tag. The lady goes and look in front of me. Black lady goes in front of me, and then she goes out the line looking. She stands behind me, and I said, "Oh, you were already in line. You can go ahead." You know what she did? No, go ahead. No, I don't need. I was like, I'm being nice to you. I was like, she better not hit me in the back of my head. So I was like this. But I'm like, I'm being nice to you. Was that necessary to be nasty to me? Like, no. I'm not, that wasn't even nice. So that whole attitude, it just shifted. And I was like, you know what? Let me get out of here. Let me get out of here if I start scrapping up in the TJ Maxx. I was in Marshalls. I was in Marshalls in Columbia Heights. I was like, lady, nasty for no reason. And I just felt that tension when I got back. And I was like, I'm out of here. So I was out of there, went to Paris. I'm gonna see if anybody has some questions. I love Argentina. I had no problems when I was in Egypt and Cairo. They call all black women brown sugar. We are queen. Well, that's a wonderful, wonderful to hear. Eve also said she had a wonderful experience as well. I went to Istanbul and had an amazing. Now I do want to go to Istanbul because everybody I met from Turkey have been wonderful, and I think that will be a great experience. I do want to go. I'm going to play in that European side. You know why? Because that Euro, they're not the Euro, but I'm going to play in that side of the world, um, you know, especially with dealing with the Euro because it's so expensive. So when I was in Paris, I was like, you know what? In Paris, I was like, okay, I've been here over a week. It's time to go. So I was sitting up at 12 o'clock at night. And I said, it's time to go. It's time to go. I'm tired of paying. I'm tired of paying 100, 150, 100 this money. I'm tired. I'm trying to go. I went online. Where can I go? And I wanted to go back to Budapest because I've been there before. And I said, let me go back to Budapest and see if that is if in Eastern Europe, is that still the most affordable option of Eastern European countries? Because it used to be when I went to Budapest in, I think, 2017 or something. Oh my God, I was rich, honey. I was rich because it was really affordable. And so I got online and I got a ticket, and they had a ticket to Budapest. I think it was under $100 or something like that from Paris, or about $100. I said, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. So, not the next day, but the day after, I was gone. I was on my way to Budapest. And I really enjoyed, I enjoyed it again, but it wasn't, I realized it's not the most, it's not the most economical Eastern European option. It's not the most, it's not the less expensive option in Eastern Europe like it used to be. So I spent, and there I rented the Airbnb from, I hadn't even rented, I hadn't even booked my place to stay until the day before I went to Budapest. I hadn't even booked my hotel for Paris until I got to Paris and was sitting in the airport. Then I booked my hotel. I do that a lot. Then I booked my hotel because again, I'm playing with the prices. I'm trying to hold out. I'm waiting on it, and I was like, okay. And I did that for. I was in my hotel, and I said, you know what? Let me see if I can stay at this place. It came up on Airbnb, a place I stayed at before. These guys were amazing, great hosts. And I just sent them a message and I say, hey, I'm coming in the morning. Do you have, can I rent this place? Because they got to approve it. And they approved it. So I went back to Budapest and I stayed there. Um, I stayed there over a week or so. And it was that's when I realized it's not the most affordable option in Eastern Europe anymore. Any other questions? Let me see what y'all saying here. Child, it's the energy in this place. Yes, it's the energy, and you can feel that, especially if you've been out. I was caught up in the world for 30 years, so I was probably part of that energy of just on guard and not knowing it, even though I'm a peaceful, approachable person, but you still have that energy, and you can get right in a second, you know. And I coming having that release from where I've been and coming into it, you could just feel the energy. And I was like, I don't have time for this. This is not what I got time for no more. I need to leave here. And I'm trying to see any other questions. Y'all ask some questions because I don't want to just be up here talking. I'm going back to Singapore in September. Pray for my wallet. Yeah, I'm gonna pray for your wallet because it's just expensive. Yep, that's how much I paid. $150. Okay, any questions? Y'all just gonna let me talk. Y'all just gonna let me talk and talk. Y'all know I can talk and talk. So where I'm at, y'all, what country number is that? That is maybe country number. That's why Southeast it calls my spirit. It absolutely would. That's why it's calling my spirit. I had to leave because I had to go that obligation committed to Costa Rica. But if I hadn't, I probably would have never went on this side of the world because I have no reason to go back. Now, I have no reason to go back. So I think I'm on country number what? I went to DC, Houston. Now I'm in Paris, and I'm in Budapest. What place do you want to check out in 2024? I want to check out Cambodia. I want to Cambodia, Philippines, uh, Philippines, South Korea, Japan, uh, on the Southeast Asia side. Somebody had mentioned Australia. So since I'm on this side, maybe I'll do that. So I'm trying to do the whole Southeast Asia while I'm here. Because once I leave, if I leave, then I don't, it'll be a minute before I come. And then maybe not because this is my spot. So, you know, I'm going to visit Malaysia while I'm on this side of. Yeah, please do visit Malaysia. Yeah, it's worth a visit. It's absolutely worth a visit. And I still have to visit the outskirts of Malaysia. So I still have, Georgetown, Penang, and Langkawi. I think that's how I pronounce it. Sarawak, I think, or Kunting. I still got places to visit on the outskirts. But and with the visa, we get 90-day visa automatic in Malaysia. And I always leave a week before my visa is up because I don't want to get caught up wherever I am. Um, and so I did. So we talked about me going to Budapest. Now, here, y'all, this is surprising. So from Budapest, since I was on the side of Budapest, I always wanted to go to Bucharest. And I said, the next time I'm in Budapest, I'm going to go to Bucharest. So after Budapest, I said, okay, let me get out of Budapest because they not as cheap as they used to be. They not as cheap as they used to be. Like I said, my standard now is like $30, $40. And I was like, I'm mad if I got to pay more. So I went to Bucharest. Oh my God. That is my new Eastern European hotspot. That's my spot for Eastern Europe, Bucharest. It's a cosmopolitan city. They have everything you need. They have the restaurants. You can dress up, you can dress down. They have the food. Let me tell you about the food. The food was so cheap in terms of the grocery store. I got this big bag of food for $12. Kid you not, I had chicken. I was cooking every day. I cooked in KL too. And KL has Western items too in their grocery stores. But I cooked a lot in KL, and I cooked all the time in Bucharest. And I enjoyed it, honey, because I had a whole bag, fresh orange juice, $12. $12. And my accommodations I stayed in a really lovely building. It looked like war torn on the outside, but inside had so much character. It was a nice studio apartment. I got it off of Airbnb. Now I think I might have paid $50 for that, but that was okay because it was where I wanted to be, um, in the old town area, and I could walk to places. I didn't have to because they have public transportation too, but either you use a Grab or Uber. And I wanted to be where I wanted to be. So I said, okay. But it was so relaxing. The people were nice. Don't let that hard exterior fool you because they look hard, sometimes in the face because they might not be smiling. And they were very nice. Thank you. How you doing? Um, um, I come in the store because they would see me. I would go in the same store all the time. They would wave, hello, thank you. And they just very direct in their conversations. The ladies were very direct, but they were nice. They'll smile at you and say whole conversation. And they would see me on the same path. So I had me a little buddy, that would see me and he would, just always talk to me and be like, hey, Washington, D.C. And very nice people. I met strangers, got to talking to them. So, and in Romania, they was like, we want the Americans to come. They just don't want the Chinese to come because they say the Chinese are buying up everything. So they put a limit on what they could buy, and they don't want the Chinese there. So, but they was like, we have a hard time getting the Americans to come here. And they have everything from the mountains to the beach, but it's definitely a place that I would go back to. And I had no issues there. And they love some Mary J. Blige, honey. Everywhere I went was playing Mary J. Blige. And then it was the 50th year of the hip hop. And I loved it so much, I extended my stay for 3 weeks. And we get a 90-day visa in Bucharest. They had wine. I would walk. They had wine shops. And I was just surprised. I don't know what I was expecting. And Dracula is not from Transylvania. He's from Bucharest. His castle is in Bucharest. So don't be fooled by the money trap of going to Transylvania. Sorry to bust your bubble, but I'm just putting you on. Istanbul is not far from Asia. Right, I do plan to visit Istanbul. I'm trying to just do everything right here. And I like to be logistical with my planning. And I think that helps me with the, costs and things just to be logistic. So I'm not flying all the way over here and flying back here. And then while I'm over there, I can do things around that area. So I'm trying to be logistic with the travel. Logistic, you know. Did you go? Did I go where? And so that was Bucharest. So y'all, I say put Bucharest on y'all list. You will not be disappointed. I had a good time. They got the museums. I'm tired of museums, but they had museums and I just enjoyed it. And I relaxed because my goal was to find some place to stay for 90 days so that I can work on my YouTube. And after Bucharest, I was able to get back to Malaysia. Whew, this is the route I had to take to get back to Malaysia, to Kuala Lumpur. And I went back in August to Kuala Lumpur. And the rest, man, I was there and I was able, during that time there, those 90 days, I got my YouTube channel up and running. And let me tell you something about Malaysia. That Malaysian audience, they are so supportive and so responsive. They love the content. They respond. They offer. I've learned so much about Malaysia through those contents. I've met people off the street. They recognize me from my YouTube channel. And so I get recognized. I have built a friend community in Kuala Lumpur that even from the internet, they reached out to me. Child, y'all, my friend's like, can you put a tracker on? I was going to meet my friend, a lady with, at the metro, because she was going to take me to go to this place, Mary Brown, this restaurant they kept telling me to try. But I was like, where is it? And she said, I'll take you and I'll show you around my area. And my friends was like, girl, can you put your tracker on? And they said a prayer for me because they was like, and I don't even think that about people. I was like, I'm in Malaysia. Ain't nobody coming to attack me. They sure ain't taking me to no market or nothing because I'm a little bit too old for that. To be trafficked, And so I didn't even think anything of it. But my friend sent me the pins to where I was going and everything. And she said, I figured for safety purpose, you might want to share that with your friend. She thought about my safety more so than I did because I just was like, oh, we had been talking through the internet, through Instagram. And I was like, okay, seemed fine to me. And so, Dracula's castle is in Bucharest and not in Transylvania. Transylvania is a money grab. So they tell you that. And it's right in the heart of Bucharest. They're renovating it. Please give me the name of the dentist. The dentist where? Here in Vietnam. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a video coming out on Friday about it. Or so. I definitely will. Because I need the recommendations. See, that's what I like when I go places, the recommendations and to share with people. And that's why I said, if you've been someplace that I'm going and you know where I should stay, hook me up. Let me know where, because I don't have a problem going. The research I have to put into accommodations is draining. And so that's what I did. That was why I went back to KL to settle down because all that traveling, I was tired. Y'all, I was tired after those 8 months of just going. I was like, I gotta sit down. Oh, and y'all want to know fun? Let me tell you a funny story. This was a hilarious story that happened to me when I was in Budapest. And I was talking to friends, and I was like, yeah, maybe I go. So friends want me to meet them in Spain. And then I said, but I can't. It's just overwhelming. I need to get back to KL. And I was going through this dilemma, right? Should I go to Greece and meet my girlfriend? Can I make that work? So for one night, I will be out because my Airbnb was only up to a certain day. I needed one night, so I found a hostel right in the city and everything. And I was like, okay, for $40, I can have some place to drop my bag. I can I can have a place to drop my bag, and I can sleep there if I want to, but I can shower and I can just sit up all night. I sit up all night anyway, so I'm a night owl. It doesn't bother me to stay up 24 hours. So I went and they had bunk beds. I was like, ain't no way your girl gonna climb up to get bunk bed. That ain't gonna happen. I'll tear this whole room up. That ain't gonna happen. So I'm gonna just store my bags here and take a shower and be ready to roll out to the airport at 6 o'clock because my shuttle was coming at 6. So I don't really need to sleep. I can just sit up. So I did that. So I was sitting up in the lounge area, and the place was clean. The bathroom was clean. I got a video of it. It was clean. It smelled fresh and everything. It wasn't anything bad. And then the kitchen area, they kept cleaning because they had the cleaning people. But where I was sitting in the little lounge, I noticed something was on the floor. So I'm sitting there and I'm texting my friends. Because I'm like, what should I do? Should I go to Greece? Should I go to Spain? And then go back to how am I get to KL? What route am I gonna take to get back to Malaysia? And trying to figure all that out. And girl, it was just warping my mind, right? And so I'm sitting down like this. Yeah, I'm sitting like this in a chair. And I happen to look down. Child, wow, roach crawl on my foot. I was like, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going back to KL. This is it. I'm going back. A roach got me together. I was like, oh no. I laughed so hard. I was texting them and voice noting them. I laughed so hard because a roach got my life together. When that roach crawled on my foot, I'm like, what is you debating all this for? Get your butt back to KL. Go on back to KL. You on your way to Bucharest after Bucharest? No, you going back to KL. You're not going to Spain. You're not going to Greece. Get your butt back and settle down. You tired. And boy, and we laughed so hard because that roach got my life together, honey. That roach crawled on my foot. I was like, what? And then I was like, what the hell? Oh, I don't know if I can say that on here, but I kicked it off and stomped it. I laughed about hours straight because a roach got me together. And my girlfriend say the Lord sends you signs in all kind of ways, even through a roach. I was just like, and at that moment, when I saw that roach, got my life together, I was like, nope, you go to Bucharest, you go back to KL. You can't engage. You can't engage the other. You can't figure out how you gonna do that. Nope. Roach got me together. And that was like a pivotal moment because I was stressing, debating, like, where should I go? Should I go here? And looking for places and all that. Honey, Roach got me right on together. And let's see, I think somebody has a question. But I was tired. So it was time for me to settle down in KL for those 90 days. I don't have to rush and I can relax and I can work on my YouTube channel. Istanbul. I haven't been to Istanbul. Please I'll give you my dentist. I sure will. I will have to watch from the beginning. I went to Barcelona, Spain. I'm a Black woman. She's been very country, which was totally amazing. I've been to Barcelona before, and I had a nice time there. I met a Oh, you met a Black woman who's been to every country in the world. Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah, and That was the Lord. What the Lord was telling me, you doing too much. Get out of your head. You stressing, trying to find a place here, trying to find a place in Greece, trying to do that. It's too much. It's too much. The Lord say, sit your butt there, calm down, and get on back. And it became clear at that moment that roach was that roach was the roach was the Lord. The roach was the Lord. The road is Lord. Lord have mercy. Don't forget. Oh yeah, don't forget. Oh y'all subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the like button so that we can push this out to the algorithm and support the channel. Thank you so much, Janella. I need the moderators. Keep me on track. Oh my God, the roach just set me free, y'all. The roach set me free. Would you ever try citizenship anywhere other than the States? No. No. At this stage of life, no, I ain't going through all that. I ain't even going through the paperwork right now for the visa. I gotta, I'm just going, I don't feel like doing all that right now. I don't feel like signing leases. I don't feel like doing no paperwork. So I'm just gonna stay in this moment right now and do the runs. Because for example, Malaysia they have a couple of different visas. They have a digital nomad visa, and they also have Malaysia my second home visa if you're trying to live there. But I think, and part of I just don't feel like doing the paperwork right now. I don't feel like doing the paperwork. I'm smooth. Y'all, I live a life of leisure. It's not tension. And that's one of the things that I think you find about being out here on the road. It's just, you're free and you don't want anything that causes any questions, any drama, any complication. No, I don't feel like filling out paperwork right now. And even though when you sign leases, you get a cheaper rate in terms of your monthly rental prices, I'm not signing any lease. I just got out of that. I just got out of that. Well, stomp like Corporate Gear. Yes, I was stomping that roach, and I was like, man, but the roach got me together. Roach changed my life for that time and told me to come on back. That was the Lord. Oh my God. So it was something else I wanted to say. But yeah, that moving around, it gets to you after a while. So I think that would be the only challenge about this lifestyle of being a nomad. You will want to, you need time. So that's why I get the 90-day visas. And I was able to do everything in those 90 days in KL. I was building my community, meeting some wonderful people, got to meet Yuna. I got to learn the city more of where I stayed around different places of where I would like to stay. And it just felt comfortable. It feels like home. And then my visa was up in, I think, November 1st, but I came here November 2nd. So my visa was up probably that next week, the 8th. Here's something very important that you got to do that I didn't do initially until I was filling out my visa for Vietnam. I was doing it like 30, 60 days. You can't do that. You can't do that when you're doing this visa. You got to stay on top of your visa. But you can't go 30, 60 days because it changes. You got 31 days here, 30 days here. You got to count the actual days. And I only realized that when I was doing the Vietnam visa. Because I say, why my days not working out? And I was like, oh, because I was saying I had to leave Malaysia um, later than I thought, but I had to leave it sooner because I had counted my days wrong. So make sure you count the actual days when you're, looking at how long not to overextend your visa or let it expire on you. Even by a day, you don't want it to expire. So that made me realize I got caught once and changed my bot counting the days wrong. Yeah. So stay on top of that. And I would have had it wrong if I hadn't done that Vietnam visa. Because I kept saying my day, why is it telling me to put in such and such a day? That day was yelling me, that lady was yelling me at immigration. See, I can't. I don't want to be dealing with that. No. Um, it's just best so you actually need to count the calendar days. Because I was wrong on my days. And I would have been, oh, that would have been messed up. Yeah, you overstayed, you pay. And I don't want to get, on no list or nothing, because y'all know I got to come back. And then check this out, y'all. When I was in Malaysia, I had no idea. The government reached out to me because they saw my eye emergency that I had. I did a video on it, and they said that had qualified for a medical tourism award category to compete for. So I entered, but I didn't know anything about it. And so that they watching. So when you over here in these different countries making videos and posting and sharing, people are watching. And I had no idea. I was about to ask who she thought she was talking to. No, yeah, you just let it slide. You let it slide. That's just like I had some, you gotta check that attitude. Because I try not to be in certain situations. You know how you're impatient, and I try not to be like that in these situations, in certain situations. Not my Americanism to come out to be like, be impatient, because what can I do? I'm here by myself. I'm in your country. I'm a guest, so I better check that attitude. Girl, be quiet and pay that money, right? For she make it worse for you. So yeah, so I've been in Malaysia, and then when my visa was about to expire, that's why I came back to Vietnam. And Vietnam had a 90-day visa now. So I was able to get a 90-day visa. That gave me time to rest. And then the other thing, what did I tell you beforehand? It slowed down my money, my spending, and which was nice, because the majority of your money goes on accommodation. When people ask me about groceries, I don't know. I go to the grocery store every day. In KL, I was going every day like I did in America. I went to grocery store every single day. So groceries are groceries, and you can get whatever you need for whatever. It's more about the accommodations. That's the most expensive part. So living in another country will have you change your whole attitude. I've learned patience. Yeah. And I'm like, this lady looking at me. I can't get mad at her, because she's looking at me like, sis, I don't know what you're talking about. It is what it is. And I'm like, and then I look crazy because they are not confrontational people. So I look absurd trying to be impatient, because I was about like, if y'all don't give me when I was at McDonald's, This one of Malaysian. I was in McDonald's, and the soda was flat. So you needed to change the machine. I went to the lady and I said, hey, here, can I get a Fanta, strawberry soda instead of here? She said, huh, I'm going to change the machine. I asked her a couple times. I was like, no, no, no. Just, can I get a strawberry soda? Can I get a strawberry soda? She looking at me all crazy. Now, see, that's when I was wanting to be like, you know what? Give me a, but I was like, no, I can't do it. I was like, never mind, lady, because y'all acting brand new, so I can't do it. So I just have to, calm down. And then I'm not in a rush to do anything. So why you being like that? Just calm down. So I'm not in a rush. And in the grocery store I go to, the guy say, you in here every day. I say, I am. I do this at home too. He say, you always smiling. You Washington, D.C., right? I say, yeah, I'm from Washington, D.C. So they know me in the little community. They will wave, say hello. I have my little tea lady. She knew my passion fruit tea bubble. She knew what I wanted, honey. I said, I'm back. So you build that community. And I was able, and even here, I built a little community in Vietnam, in Da Nang. So y'all, that's that year. Come on with your questions. Somebody had something about Bucharest. I'm gonna go through and see anything. I think I saw something. Did somebody mention something about Bucharest? Where exactly in Bucharest? You mean where exactly in Bucharest? In Bucharest, in this old town, in the city, if that's what you mean. I don't know if you were saying. I don't know if that was in reference to where I was staying or Dracula. But Dracula Castle is in right in Old Town, and I was staying right maybe 3 blocks from Old Town. The food must be so untainted with chemicals. Yes, the food. Now, let me tell you something. Bucharest had the best tomatoes I've ever tasted in the world. I've never tasted Bucharest. I never tasted tomatoes as fresh as the tomatoes in Bucharest. Now, here, they have a lot of vegetables here. Everything you eat here in Vietnam, no joke, everything you eat, the rice, the noodles, is light. The meat, I have never had a meal in Vietnam, Vietnamese meal. I've never had a Vietnamese meal where I felt heavy. And people I show on IG, on my IG stories, I show my breakfast every morning. And people say, oh, that's so heavy, that look heavy. It is not heavy. I have not had any food in Vietnam that is heavy. Vietnam, and so it must have something to do with how they're raising, how they're growing their food, and their processing. Because it's not even the rice. You're not gonna get heavy rice. I don't feel heavy off the rice and the noodles. Bucharest looks expensive. Bucharest may look expensive, but it's not. It's not. Mm-mm. It is not at all. It has a very cosmopolitan feel. They have the Therme, the biggest. I went to Therme, the biggest spa in Europe. Very nice. It's close to the airport. I got a little video out on that. And I got so much content that I have to upload to YouTube for you all. I'm going to do that too. But I have an IG story about it. And I think I have a YouTube short story about it. But Bucharest is not expensive. It is less expensive than Budapest. So that is my Europe. That's my Eastern European spot. Because it has everything, you know? Very nice. It has the restaurants, it has the bars, it has the coffee shops, it has the wine. It has some culture with the I went to the parliament, right? The parliament, they had some museums. So y'all sleeping on Bucharest. Don't sleep on Bucharest. Or y'all sleep there because I'm going back. They have the mountains too. The food was, yeah. So the food here is really light. I've never had. In Malaysia, the food is very spicy. They have spicy food, but they have, regional dishes that has flavor. I finally found the flavor in the food once I got into the community and I start talking to the people and I start just testing places. I would go in, but they also have the high-end places too. Well, the nice restaurants and not high-end, but the nice restaurants too. So they really have a good balance of food, shopping, entertainment, marathons, races. They have that. And here in Vietnam, I can't find that right now. Not in Da Nang. So I learned so much by talking to the young lady that traveled the world. She wrote a book, First Black Women. Yes, yes. And so traveling, I'm trying to see if there was anything else on my list that I want to talk about because I've been talking. So y'all keep talking to me. I'm enjoying this. And I don't want to be the one always talking. Ma'am, and you overstay your pay. In case I missed it, how do you deal with loneliness? Oh, you know what? I got this thing about loneliness. Honestly, I do. I don't um I don't get lonely. I've been solo. I've been my whole life pretty much. I moved to DC by myself. And I'm not saying, um, let me how I want to say that. I think because I'm used to being to myself a lot, um, and you really have to, in this lifestyle, you have to enjoy your own company and your solitude. And you know, I'm my mom's only child, and I have a sister. But so I grew up with my sister, but I grew up also being my mom's only child, by myself. And I had cousins and stuff, pardon me, who were a little bit older. He was 10 years, no, he was 3 years older than me, but he was a boy, so we hang out, but we weren't hanging out. He wasn't playing no dolls or nothing with me, anything like that. So I grew up being comfortable playing with myself a lot. And so I don't necessarily, and you move that into adulthood. I like my time by myself. I don't really get lonely because I'll go out here and I'll find something to do. And I don't get bored really unless I'm in a situation I'm like, this boring. Let me leave. Let me do something else. But I I don't really that's interesting. I don't really get lonely because I think there's so much to do. Now, do I miss people? Thank you. Thankful for the internet that we can connect. I can connect with people. I've met so many beautiful people and resources on the internet, Francis, other people, and I stay in contact with them through social media and just conversations. But I don't really get lonely. Get lonely. Does that make sense? I just really don't. But I know you can. I think doing things, the only thing, I don't have anybody to pass anything off on. So I got to do everything myself. So that gets overwhelming with the accommodations research and things like that. I get tired of doing that. I'm like, oh, that's exhausting. That's a job. I don't feel like doing that. And I don't have anybody to pass it off on. And yes, sometimes you want to enjoy moments with people and I'll just send them messages of this and that. But I think because I've been solo so long, I don't even get in a state of loneliness. I don't. And I like to be by myself sometimes, a lot of times. That's kind of like I don't know if that's a fault now or it's just like maybe I'm too comfortable being by myself. I don't know. But I don't have an issue with loneliness. And then just said what you said, chicken at McDonald's was spicy in KL. Oh, yeah, the chicken. KL got the bomb fried chicken. Best chicken is at McDonald's, and and I am not exaggerating. I was coming back from the airport, and my Uber driver, my Grab driver, we use Grab in Asia, and he was telling me, he was giving me all the food spots and places to try. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that place. He said, you know who got the best fried chicken? But you got to get the spicy, got to get the spicy. I say, where? Where? Because I know it's McDonald's. I was going to say McDonald's. He said, McDonald's. I said, yes. I say, okay, I trust your recommendation. You know what you're talking about. I said, yeah. He said, but you got to get the spicy. I said, yeah, you got to get the spicy because the other stuff. Now, get that spicy chicken when you come to KL. You're going to be like, dang, this good. And I only pay like what? $3 for nasi lemak and the fried chicken. Now, the food in KL is restaurants is cheap. You know, it's not very expensive. Not very expensive at all. And and chicken is good. I grew up alone. I'm a loner, but I like yeah, I like people in spurts. People get on my yeah, people I like people in spurts. I like when we can come together and then we can go on our separate ways. But let me tell you something though, you need community. I'm not saying you don't need community because I when I was in Chiang Mai, Eve was there, Tasha was there, and I enjoyed our time together. I miss them. I wish they were here. And you know, because you miss those moments that you had together and the fun times and the laughs. So when I say I miss you, I do. I miss Eve. I miss Tasha and being there and having, even though we didn't spend every day together, but having that person in that city that you know, that felt good. That felt good. So we could connect when we needed to connect. You know what I'm saying? So that really does feel good to have that. But as far as me just being here by myself, I'm not lonely. I'm just not lonely. And you know, and I think that has a lot to do with how I grew up and just being able to make use of my time of doing something or doing nothing. Sometimes I don't do nothing, and that's doing something. Honey, I can do what I want. I love that. I can do what I want. I don't have to do nothing. And sometimes, and that's what I love about solo travel. I want to spend the day in the house. I don't feel like doing that. I do not wake up. Y'all, this is early for me getting up at 9 o'clock. I do not get out the house. And by 1 o'clock, okay, because it's hot in certain parts of Southeast Asia, so we don't go out during the day until about 4 o'clock or so, unless I have something to do. But I don't rush to get out. What I'm rushing for? I ain't got nothing to rush for. So no. I'm living here. I don't need to rush to do nothing. I don't get out the house before 1 o'clock. I'm in the bed lounging and this and that. I ain't got time. But so I enjoy meeting community. So when I'm in places, yeah, I like to connect. Had coffee. Beautiful sister yesterday had coffee. It was so much fun. And it was raining because it's raining. It's been raining all week in Vietnam. Rainy season is over, but it's wintertime. So it's a little cool at night. It's actually cool. And so it was raining. And I had went out earlier because I went picked my clothes up from the laundry. I paid $1. No, I paid 84 cents for my clothes being washed. And and it was soggy. My feet was soggy because I wore my tennis shoes. And I was like, and I only have 2 pairs of shoes, y'all. I only have 2 pairs of shoes. And so it was, and so she said I was supposed to meet her at 2:30. And I said, it's rainy. And she said, well, I'm ready now, right, right up the street. And I said, let me go on and get myself together. And we were talking about, well, you need that inspiration, that motivation. And I said, I know. I'm just going, come on, I got an umbrella. Let me go and get up and go. So things like that. So I do enjoy having that push sometimes for people because otherwise I'll be like, I'm good. So I like the company. And when Sandra's here, that was beautiful. We met for coffee, even though, she was about to catch a plane, 45 minutes. It was nice. So those connections are really nice. But and if I don't have those, I'm okay too. And I reach out to people uh, as well to connect, and they reach out to me and connect. But sometimes you just be like, and if I don't want to do anything, I just be like, no, thank you, or what have you. But I need small doses too. People think when you live abroad, you in the street every day. Most of the time, you inside doing that. Most of the time, you inside doing nothing. That's true. Or you doing your day to day because you're doing your day to day life, and so you're not always out in the street every day. Yeah, when you living abroad, yeah. I was always walking someplace in DC, so I was always walking someplace. And so here, I might not. I get out, get some fresh air, but I could do a bunch of nothing, have a good time. And that's another thing. That's another big lesson that you learn about when you solo traveling in terms of the genuine satisfaction of just making connections of ordinary things and not possessions. You know what I'm saying? So you find that value and just the thing, just being in the moment. Oh, we found a yoga studio yesterday and we having coffee in this beautiful place and we're going to take a yoga class and just the beauty. Then I passed by and I was like, I saw this riding by. It's a French bistro. So I'm going to go there for wine and cheese, just those moments. Now, see, for me, that's luxury. We were talking about how that is luxury, being able to, partake in a nice glass of wine and cheese and just relax and just enjoy the moment, talk, great conversation. Time is the luxury. And so I do a lot of walking and exploring. And I used to do that in DC. That's how I came about with Queen of DC. So I do a lot of walking and exploring neighborhoods to get some exercise in. I go to the beach. And those are just precious moments. And people say, what is your most, they ask me the most, always, I think the biggest thing you've done or the best, just having the time to live freely. That's it. Because I can do what I want to do. And I don't have to rush. And that's why I like being in a place. I call myself a slow traveler. Just taking my time. If I like a place, I can go back to the place. Back in Vietnam. And even though tomorrow's not promised, I'm okay with what I'm doing today. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with what I'm doing today. Just be, yeah, just being. And that's the value of just being straightforward, just with the appreciation of when you travel, it automatically, when you're like a nomad, you already become kind of efficient in just minimalism and not having much in terms of things. I do because I don't want that weighing me down. I feel so free with this one little bag in my backpack. I'm so free because if somebody came and said, Sean, you got to get out of here today, I'd be okay. Well, let me throw this laptop in my bag, get my little toiletries, throw them in the bag, and let's roll. Let's roll. And I don't have to worry about packing and rearranging because I got it all spaced out. And so that was my year. And again, people say it went fast. For me, it just went. It didn't feel it. It just feels slow travel to me. It didn't feel like it went fast. It just felt good and relaxing at certain points when I can just sit and be. And let's see. And then we talked about safety was an issue. And I talked about the visa process. The only visa I've had to get to fill out. Bali has visa on arrival for $35. So when you arrive, you can get your visa. The only visa I've had to deal with as an American is the Vietnam visa. And I did that online, and it takes 4 days to process for me. I was in Hanoi, and the British guy said his took about a week. And he said, I was pushing it because I had got my ticket, and it came through on the last day that I was about to leave. He said, so it came through earlier that day. Suitcase and carry-on. Yes, I take, no. I take one carry-on and one backpack. That's all I travel with. And I do not, because, honey, I'm not lifting no bags, trying to get it over. And you don't know what type of, with these different Asian airlines, you don't know if you got to go to the tarmac and walk up these little steps. So I just pay the fee and check my carry-on bag. And it's not going to be, it's between $10 and $20. That's going to be your fee for your carry-on bag on most Asian airlines that I've traveled. $10 to $20. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 13, sometimes it may be 15. But I'm not packing it around. I'm not carrying it. I'm not lifting, honey. I'm too old for that, baby. I'm the queen. I don't lift nothing like that. I'll pay that. Just budget the $10, $20 in your budget. So but my backpack I carry with me, and it has all my valuables or important things in my backpack. And my carry-on is just clothes. That's it. Clothes, toiletries. So that is what I travel with, and it has made my life so much easier. When I don't even fear going to the airport no more. And also when you rest for 90 days, it's okay. You rejuvenate and you refresh, and so you're not as spazzed about going to the airport. Because sometimes I would prolong my trip so I wouldn't have to go to the airport. Any plans I do have plans for Africa, but I will not be doing Africa solo. So I will be doing that probably with a friend. But I do have plans for Africa. It's so many. Zanzibar looks good. Looks beautiful. So South Africa. I haven't been to South Africa. I haven't been to Africa, so I do plan to travel to Africa. Anyway, have you been? Oh yeah. Oh, that's Eve. I know you've been to Africa. I want to go back to Rwanda when you go. I want to go. I'm following Eve. I want to go where you go. And let me tell you about my card fraud, how that worked. Here's what I did before I left, y'all. I looked at all of my using Air Asia. I use, that's what I've been traveling throughout Asia, Air Asia. And oh my Lord, coming from Hanoi, child, they drove me crazy coming from Hanoi. They had to screaming kids. Hanoi is wild. They just wild. They had to screaming kids and mamas and them up walking down the aisle, sharing food, trying to coordinate. I was like, where am I on the Soul Plane? Asia Soul Plane? It was a mess. I said, Lord Jesus, y'all talk about us. And let me tell you something. You know how they say black people loud? We not the loudest, baby. We are not the loudest. When you travel around, you'll figure out Black people are not the loudest. We loud. Americans are loud. Americans are loud. And you didn't say Black people loud, but we are not. Um, Chinese are the loudest. Chinese are the loudest. Oh my God, they are so loud. It's like, y'all, calm down. But I was gonna talk. So before you leave, this is what I did, the process before I left. I looked at my credit cards and my debit cards, and I saw that they were going to expire in 2023. So I got reissued all new cards with a longer expiration date before I left the States. When I got back that second time, I said, "Oh, no!" The first time too, I noticed that my card um, was expiring in 2023. Well, I didn't come back. I'm traveling 2023, so we gotta get this card. I gotta get a new card, so I got all new cards. Um, and I did that the second time I went back in February to the States. I got new cards, and so that I don't have to worry about that. But when I was in Hanoi dealing with food poisoning on the bathroom floor, suffering, Lord Jesus. Somebody in Barcelona, Spain was buying tickets to the Sagrada Familia and trying to get on the Spanish dating site, filling out applications with my card, but it didn't go through. So my bank, I had to call my credit card. It's the main credit card that I use. So they had to turn it off and they had to ship me a new one to Vietnam. So they said we could ship it to Vietnam. So I gave them my address where I was in Vietnam. And when I went back, I said, I don't have my card. It was 4 to 7 days. I was like, can you give me a tracking number? Well, my card was stuck in customs. And I said, can y'all do something about it? Because I need my card. They said, no, because it's in customs. You're going to have to call them because they have to release it. I said, okay. So my girlfriend said, call the local number. I went on Twitter and I wrote UPS and they answered right away on Twitter. And I told them my situation. They gave me the local 1-800 number in Vietnam. And I called and they speak English. They told me we need a phone number. We don't have a phone number for you. We need a Vietnamese number. Well, luckily I have my SIM card. So I just took my SIM card, put it in my phone instead of my travel Wi-Fi. My travel Wi-Fi, and gave them my Vietnamese phone number. They delivered my credit card the next day. So I got my credit card, and that's with Chase. So that was Chase Sapphire Preferred, or one of them, and so that was great. So get you a card that has excellent customer service and that will be able to, in these situations, know their policy about shipping your cars to you right away and what that entails. And get the international numbers in advance. Make sure you get those international numbers in advance because 1-800 numbers are not going to work. So I have those. So that worked out fine. And another thing, I just did a video on Charles Schwab ATM fees, getting reimbursed. Make sure you keep your receipts to the end of the month to reconcile your account if you have a Charles Schwab debit card, because depending on where you are and how it's coded, they may not reimburse you for those fees because the bank in Malaysia, RHB Bank in Malaysia, the way it's coded when I withdrew my money, they didn't code the ATM fee separate from the withdrawal. So Charles Schwab couldn't reimburse me because it said it wasn't coded that way. And they asked me for the receipts. I have a video on it. They asked me for the receipts and I threw them away because I always get reimbursed, but I didn't reconcile my books that month, those last 2 months. And had I done that, I would have known not to use that bank no more. So I know that I will not be using that RHB bank anymore. So just stay on top of your finances and reconcile those accounts once a month. Get caught up, and so you don't want to lose any money. So just make sure you stay on top of that. And I'm going in May and June. $40 a day. $40 a day. What's $40 a day in Rwanda? Okay, then I gotta figure out in June if I can hook up Rwanda. Go to Rwanda in June, y'all. Um, the other thing is I'm trying to say, and I don't know if you see my healthcare. So healthcare is one of those things that really keeps you stranded in your job because when you don't have healthcare, something happens, emergency, that can keep you in a bad job because you want the healthcare. But when you come abroad, it's affordable, and I found places where I can have access to affordable healthcare, quality healthcare in Malaysia. So I'm happy about that. That I found my spot there, and you could go back there because people. This one guy, he traveled from Bali to Malaysia for the healthcare. So, and people here, you know, um, travel here for medical tourism as well. So just research the countries that you're going and see what type of facilities they offer and the costs. Because Malaysia lists the costs of their packages, so you'll know how much you're paying. If you want, we can hit Egypt first and then on to Rwanda. Okay, because I'm not going to Egypt by myself. So that would be my opportunity to go. And so I need to plan out when I'm going to go to uh, Japan and South Korea. So I possibly can do Egypt and Rwanda at that same time you're doing it. Because I still have those places. Um, and I know a friend was going to be in Seoul, I think in May. So I was going to connect with her during that time. And anything else, you all? Any other questions? I'm trying to see. I'm looking at my list to see. I told y'all about my. Yeah, but I've enjoyed. It's been a wonderful journey. I've enjoyed it. I haven't had many. Uh, my bag. Oh, my luggage when I was in my luggage. When remember I told you it fell in the sea. It was almost about to fall in the sea when I went back to Hanoi. It looked okay, but when I got to Ho Chi Minh City, it was cracked. And I said, man, I hope it makes it because it's cracked. So I went around to the market, trying to find me some luggage, and I bought a suitcase. Failed. And I was so upset because I spent $50 and I couldn't even use the bag. So I went into one of the Facebook groups and I said, hey, I have a bag. If you want it, it's yours. I can't use it. So my friend said, okay. And somebody took the bag. They came and picked the bag up. And that was good. I was able to give it away. Just cost of doing business. I took the L on that one, but I was like, dang, it's $50 on the bag. I ain't even used. So my friend said, have it wrapped at the airport. I said, okay. So I went to Malaysia. Check this out, yeah. So I was going to Malaysia from Ho Chi Minh City. I had the bag when I walked in the door. The wrapping facility was right there. I never usually keep money on me. I usually spend it all up. But this time I had about 240 um, I had 240 Vietnamese dong on me. Okay. So the man cost me, he wrapped my suitcase, it was 100,000. I gave him 100,000. And when I went to the counter to check in, here's two things that you got to remember too. Sometimes where you going, they require a round trip ticket. So make sure you see where you're going if they require a round trip ticket. Now you can either purchase a real ticket and cancel it out. I always do one-way tickets. And so sometimes I will buy one of them. What do you call it? What's the name of it? Uh, the onward ticket, which is a 24-hour ticket, right, to get you through the process. Onward ticket, it gets you through the process, and it costs about 15. Onward travel, yeah, onward ticket, and it costs you about 15, $16, and it's a legit ticket for the reservation for the 48 hours, and it gets you through. And some places, depending on where you go, they check it. And the lady, when I got to the counter, I had paid for my bag I think it was 50. I could get 40 pounds because 40 pounds. Remember, I have 30 pounds, and I always keep my bag at 30, 33 pounds. 30, 33 pounds. I don't try to go over that. So she said it was all wrapped up. And so she was training it. This is why she did it. She was training this girl. So when she put, they never charged me for my backpack or anything. So she put my backpack. She said, "Your backpack a little bit over. You're gonna have to take some stuff out." And I was like, that's because she was training that girl. And I was like, it's not even that much. I said, what am I gonna do with it? She said, put it in your bag. I said, it's wrapped. How am I gonna wrap up? I can't unwrap it and then put it in there. It won't fit. And so she said, well, you can go back over there and have them box it up or whatever. And I was like, dang. And I was like, I shouldn't go to Malaysia. I was getting mad. So I went over there and the guy boxed it. So I took some stuff out of my backpack because usually I keep my jewelry and things like that in my backpack. So I was trying to be strategic. He like, girl, hurry up. Come on, put this stuff in the box. So I was like, okay, put that in there. And so he put it in the box. He wrapped it up. And he said, remember, I only had $140,000 left. And he said, 200. I said, 200? That was 100. He says, 200,000. And I was like, I don't have it. I got 140,000. I said, is there an ATM machine? There's an ATM machine. He said, no, it's on the other side of the terminal. I said, she has my passport. You got the box. I cannot leave. I was like, all I have is 140,000. I don't have no more. I don't have no more money. And he stood there a moment and then he said, I'll take the 100. I said, here the 40. He was like, I want the 40. So he took the $100,000. So I took the box over there and I was just like the drama. And then she was like, you know, you need an onward ticket. I was like, I got one. But she didn't ask to see it. She was just saying, you know, you need an onward ticket for Malaysia because they might ask you in immigration. And every time I've been to immigration, they have not asked me, not Malaysia. They have not asked me to see my onward ticket. Every time I've been through Malaysia, they just stamp me in. Stamp me right in through the process. So make sure you know where you're going if you need an onward ticket because they won't let you on the plane. When I flew to Bangkok, coming through Boston, he was like, "Do you have an onward ticket?" He just asked me, and I said, "Yes, I do." He didn't check it though. He said, "Okay," but sometimes they check it. So a couple of times I've been traveling, they check it and put it into the system. If you Yes, the flight path is inexpensive. See, that's what I'm talking about, an inexpensive flight path. That's what I want. Um, and like I say, I think all of the countries I've been to have been safe for me. And I'm trying to see any place I had any drama. I haven't really experienced any drama. It has been wonderful. Vietnam has been great. Malaysia. I have not experienced anything terrible. Price line and cancel as soon as I get on the plane. That's true. You can buy a ticket from a legitimate airline and cancel it. But the way my day was going, and I get, the way I just said, you know what? I ain't got time because I forget. A lot of times when you doing too many things, I forget stuff. I might forget, and so I just do the Uber. And sometimes I have a legit ticket if I know I'm going back to a place. But the one way tickets, I always get because it's just easier to get. And I don't know how long I'm staying in a place. For example, Singapore, I knew. So I had an over ticket. I knew on day 4 I was out. I ain't playing with Singapore. I am not playing with Singapore. But I didn't have any negative experiences there. But I knew, I was like, no, I ain't playing with Singapore. I'm out. I got a round trip ticket, baby. I'm out. Um, so yeah, so I'm trying to think of if there's anything else. I told you about my food poisoning. But I've been really blessed and just happy that I've been able to live this life and live comfortably without any big issues going on. I found somebody to cut my hair. She did a great job. You know what I'm saying? That's all I need. And that's the only thing that I was thinking about going through the States for, is to get my hair done. You know how we are. I want my hair done. But honey, she cut it and I'm good. Be very careful of Egypt. They say men are more aggressive. Yeah, if I go to Egypt, I'm going with Disabled Diva Travels. She knows Egypt in and out and been, you know, 5 or 6 times or something. Yeah, I'm going with somebody. And I'm not going, I have the tendency to go off by myself places. No, I won't be doing that there. I've been to Egypt 7 times. I have local friends there, but you are correct. Men are aggressive to solo women. Yeah, that's why I said I am not going by myself. I don't want to go to Morocco by myself either, but I would like to visit Morocco. That's another place I would like to visit, but I'm not trying to go by myself because I hear that men are aggressive towards solo women there too. And everybody has different experience. Some women um, say they had a great experience than others, but I'm going to err on the other side of, not going solo. And I'm trying to see if there's anything. And the big difference is peace. I don't have to deal with the day to day drama that you see in the news in the States all the time. What I like about being international is they share world news. So I know what's going on in the world. It's not just about local, they share worldly news, global news. And so the people here, if you watch TV or have access what the government gives you, you're able to see certain things that's going on around the world. And where I am, I'm able to see that. So I'm not limited to not know. I know what's going on in all these different places. Where American TV is always about America, the news, and local. Never want to share globally what's happening. So that's it, y'all. Any questions on any places? Any places? Let me see if I got any banners. I put these banners up. Y'all click the subscribe and the like button. And I also I have to start working on my blog. I have a blog, so y'all sign up for my blog, queenofdc.com. It has some great information. It has information from the places I've been. And this year I've just been on 10 cities. I've been to 10 countries, but I have to put that material out. I was first trying to do the YouTube and get that out, and then I'm going to translate that into my blog. Oh, pardon me. And yeah, it's let's see. Let me see what I have. Okay, that's me on Instagram. That's how you can find me on Instagram. And I think, yeah. So please, let me see. Let me write this. This is a good one. So now we in the Q&A. Let me know. This is my first live, y'all. So this is my first live. Very important. Thank you. And the lighting in Southeast Asia, honey, I go out the house. I say, I know I look like a clown because they have the dim lighting. So I can't even see how my makeup is or anything. But so y'all told me I might as well stay here the rest of my visa term. So I might as well stay here the rest. Yeah. Oh, listen to this. I wanted to go to Bangkok to see 50 Cent. He was there maybe about 2 weeks ago. But it was staying in room. And I was like, I'm not going to Bangkok to stand. I do live videos because I don't want to edit. Yeah, I don't feel like editing either. I don't. And I hope this live has been informative and you've gained some insight. I try to share as much information as I can remember. It's fleeting. And any tips or any questions that you have, I'm always open to answering. And like I said, you can too old to stand up at concerts. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it, but I wanted to go. But I think for this total year, that I can live off of 25,000, and I haven't let's say 25, 30. I don't think I've spent 30, you know. Uh, so so I've been able to do that. So like I said, if you have $25,000, say for your journey, you'll be okay, or a little bit more, 30,000. Because what happened was once I paid off my debt, I was just saving money, saving money. So I would say, yeah, definitely 30,000. You can do it off of 30,000, and you can be comfortable. I think I think from here, so I think I'll just stay here the rest of the month. Then I think I stay here the rest of the month. I knew I needed a teeth cleaning, and so I was here. I sent them a message, and I said, "Hey, how much is your service for?" And they said they gave me the prices and said, "We can take you today." I was like, "Okay, well, let me go on in there." And so that's how the services are here. I don't have to make appointments. I can just walk in. I can just walk in. Whether it's for my hair, whether it's for my facial, I can just walk in the door. Whether it's for my massage, I can walk in. And so when I was in KL, my Thai massage, I was mad. It cost me $40. That's not expensive for the States, but for Southeast Asia, I was like, it cost me 8 in Thailand, and she does the same thing. She puts her foot in my back for real. So so I have to control myself. I have to say, Sean, okay, it's not a bad price. Okay, you gotta pay 35, 40. Can you wiggle room there? I'll be stuck. I'll wait till the last minute because I'll be like, I'm stuck. And sometimes I win and sometimes I lose. Majority of the time I win of holding out. But I'm like, no. And I have gotten to the point in Vietnam, I'm like 28. I don't pay $28. I don't pay $28 a month. Can we get it to 25? That whole mindset. So now think about me trying to go to Europe. Why? Why? I can have the same luxuries here and lifestyle, a little bit different, but I can still have access to it. And why would I want to go pay hundreds of dollars? No, because initially I was moving to Paris. That was the plan. That was the goal, the dream is to live abroad. And who knows? That may not be out of the question. It's just that I've traveled to a different side of the world now. And I'm liking that side of the world and seeing how far my money can go on this side of the world, especially when you ain't trying to work. Okay. So it changes your perspective. And you're like, maybe I'll just vacation there. And then I could plan that. 10 with the tip. With the tip. We spoil. We spoil. Oh yeah. With the tip. I do tip. I do tip. $8, but I do tip. I do tip. But let me tell you something about Vietnam. I legit spent $400 today to get a spa too. Yeah. In the States, it's ridiculous. I'm like, I don't want to come here and get no spa. I can get me a sugar scrub, a body massage, and all of that for, I got my manicure and pedicure, 23 manicure pedicure, and she used a buffer, y'all. She got in there. $23. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it was something I was going to tell you, and I forgot what I was to tell you. But yeah, the price here is just, it's, you know, you're like, where else can I find this cost of living? So Vietnam is the most affordable country in the world. I don't know any place else who can compete with them in terms of their prices. And so I'm happy to be here in Vietnam because tipping. I was going to talk about tipping. I was trying. Now these are my little girlfriends. I call them my little besties that I met who took me around and showed me, exposed me to Vietnamese cuisine, traditional what they love. They took me to the hair salon and just keep in touch with me to see if I'm okay. And just they were like, we can't wait for you to come back because we're gonna show you even more and send me recommendations. So And they work in the, hotel industry. So I wanted to just say thank you and I slid some money in her hand, right? She said, no, 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 take it back. She said, you're my friend. You're my friend. No, no, no. You're my friend. And she wouldn't take it. She would not take it. And it's hard for them in hospital. They'll take it, you gotta they'll look at you strange, but they don't want to. They'll look at you a little bit strange because it's not the culture, but you gotta just say, no, 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 it's for you. But she would not take it. She was like, you're my friend. I'm not taking it. And she put it back. And I tried to give it, no. And when I was, this was in Vietnam, I was at a hotel and they had steep steps. And I was like, I'm not carrying that bag down the steep steps. So I asked him if he could take my bag. And so he took the bag down and I tried to, because we tip and be hot. He was like, he looked like, I was eating at a restaurant in Vietnam, Boon Chai, the Boon Chai restaurant. And it was Americans, an American sitting next to me. And he tried to tip the lady. She was like, no, no. And he said, that's our Americanism in us. I say, I know. But she would take it. So it depends on where you go. They will take it. And you think, so when I get my facial and stuff, I leave a little tip. I leave a tip for things like that. My nails, leave a tip. And it's just a tip. It doesn't have to be a whole lot, but they are appreciative. And if you don't, they ain't gonna say one word if you don't leave a tip. They're not gonna say, "Oh, excuse me." None of that. Nope. Because they're that's not how they live. They're all about comfort, hospitality, and then even yeah. So, and then me and a friend was talking yesterday about how their Buddhism, and she's was saying a situation where they were like, "Here's your money back, and you can go." She was like, "I just want this. I don't want my money back." But they don't like confrontation, so they are willing to give you your money back and have you go on your way to save their peace. And I say that's a beautiful way to live. Like, I don't need this. Here, take it back. Bye. Cut it. So yes. So yes, y'all. That's my life in that's my life abroad for the year. In Thailand, my chef friend said. Oh, he said we left too much. You left too much money. Yeah, they really don't. It's not their culture. I watch Internet News. Gonna go backward and watch the beginning. Looking forward to it. See you next. Great job. Thank you, Sean. You're very helpful. Thank you so much. 11:59. But thank you all. I really appreciate you on here. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm trying to see if I should do a live and just do a topic. I'm more so, let me get on here and just talk regular to people. You know what I'm saying? I just want to hold a conversation and just talk. Um, and so if I have a topic to talk about, I can talk live. But I like the engagement with the audience. So I hope I have answered everybody's questions that you have. Because your girl can just be sitting up here talking. I can just sit up here and talk. So I'm going back. So yeah, would you make so the home base would be I can make KL my home base and move around, but I like having the 90 days. So yeah, I guess I need to wrap this up because we've been on here 3 hours. Your girl been talking. Look at that. So in closing, that has been my year, and we'll see what 2024 holds. It's a whole 12 months. And I guess we plan Egypt. Rwanda is on the list. So I get a chance to go to Africa at some point in 2024. And now I'm going to stay the rest of the month in Vietnam. So I'll be here for the new year. And after Vietnam, maybe I'll, go back to KL. Yeah, because I want to go. I have some appointments there. And then, I don't know, maybe oh, y'all think this. Should I go to Bangkok? Should I go? Check this out, y'all. I don't care. I ain't hoity toity, right? I like what I like. Bangkok got a cheesecake factory. Should I go to Bangkok and go to the cheesecake factory? We're going to take a vote. Should I go to Bangkok and go to the cheesecake factory? Is that worth it? Do y'all think that's worth it? Should I go to y'all let me know. Should I go to cheesecake? I like cheesecake factory. I don't know what all that conversation. I like Red Lobster too. I don't know what all that conversation is about. My date can take me on the cheesecake factory. I don't care. My date can take me to the cheesecake factory, honey. I would hook it up and get my little chicken piccata. And Tyler, my chef friend, said, so I'm asking the question. Should I go to the cheesecake factory in Bangkok? That's the only reason why I'll be going. To go to the cheesecake factory. So who out here watching? Y'all get in there and tell me if you're watching the replay, leave your questions in the replay and let me know any questions you may have, anything I've said. And I hope you watch this 3-hour live. And if you want to Bangkok, go on over to Chiang Mai so he can cook for you. I'll just be going through Bangkok just to pass through to go, for a couple days as I'm going back. Oh, yeah, I'm an old. As I'm going back. So I would just be going through for a couple days. I'm gonna be because it's burning season now in Chiang Mai, won't it be? Probably by the time I get there. I hear it's still muggy and stuff there. Um, so yeah, so that is pardon me, y'all. So I think that's what I'm doing now. Well, do I have? Well, I do love a good cheesecake. I went to Cheesecake Factory in Mexico City. I sure did. I happened to be at the mall and saw they had a Cheesecake Factory. I was like, and it was good. I got my little chicken piccata, baby. I was like, okay. Sometimes you get tired of the ethnic foods, the local foods and the cuisines. Just like in Vietnam, I was like, oh God, I get tired of it. So I want something. I had to have some Mexican food the other night, baby, and that hit the spot. I was like, I need something different. I need something different. And so that's what I got. But maybe I will. Maybe I will. Little Sean be in Bangkok at the Cheesecake Factory. Oh my goodness. But because I haven't had Cheesecake Factory in over a year. Since I've been gone from DC. I have not had it. And I like it. If they had red lobster, I'd be up in red lobster too. You know what? In Mexico City, they got red lobster, but I didn't like that menu. I was like, that's okay, I'll pass. I'm gonna go down to Cheesecake Factory. Well, thank you everyone for joining me. I appreciate your time. We've been on here 3 hours, and it's 12:10 here in Vietnam, in Da Nang, Vietnam. So it's lunchtime, and typically I eat breakfast at the hotel, so I'm full the majority of the day. But I thank you for taking the time out to come and chat with me, and I appreciate your questions. And I'm just gonna get on the live routine and start doing more lives. We can talk about something. We find something to talk about. Okay. I'll put up a topic. It's so much to talk about that you forget when it's time to talk about it. But yes. So if you're watching the replay, let me know if I should go to Bangkok for the Cheesecake Factory. But yeah, so I want to thank everybody for their time. Anything else before I before I close out, I want to know how you get your. Oh, there we go. Anything else? Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. All right. I have 7 people watching. Anything else, y'all? Got any questions? All right. Then I guess we wind down and shut this down. No more questions. I was trying to go through and make sure I answered everything, but thank you all. I love you. I appreciate your support, and I'm happy for your blessings and all the wishes that you send my way and the resources that you provided me along this journey for the entire year. And I thank you. All right. I guess I say until next time, y'all. Peace. Bye bye.